Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Snap Judgments. As I looked at the wrong screen and got really confused for a second, we are recording live on Twitch at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. As always, I am joined by the streamer who never streams, the tech guy who never techs, the Greek who never geeks. It is Nick, Greek Geek. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing well, Glazer. How are you? How has Vietnam been treating you? How has your sleep schedule been?
I mean, my sleep schedule is existent, which is something I can't say, and you cannot say, but neither can our special guest today, who slept 2 hours in the past several days. It is, in fact, quite toxic and bad for his soul, but he is still a king. Put them all together, and you have the Toxic Soul King. Hi, Toxie.
Hi, people. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite again.
An absolute pleasure. Toxic Soul King, how can our friends find you?
On Twitch under Toxic Soul King, because I'm right now too lazy to do content on other platforms too.
Too lazy, even though he has now streamed for 5 days in a row, and which means he slept 2 hours in the past several days. In addition, Nick, how can
Yes.
people find you?
Probably in other people's streams at this point, but you can actually find me after this podcast on Twitch. I will be going live, shocking everyone, including myself. But I am occasionally on Twitch, generally after the pod, unless Glazer's streaming, and then I let him stream and just follow along with him. So yeah, come find me on Twitch there, or just hop into someone else's stream, and I'll probably be hanging around there.
We are usually recording this, if you're interested in watching it live, on either Friday night or Saturday night for the Western world. However, I have no idea when we are recording next week's episode. I have to work Saturday starting in the morning, and then Sunday I am, big announcement time, casting the Golden Gauntlet Sunday morning my time. So that would be Saturday night for no. Yeah, I don't know how times work. Yeah, that would be Saturday night for everyone else, right? It's when that's happening because they did the like timestamp thing, so it shows in my time, so I know what my time is. So that would be Saturday night for everyone else. But that's the two times I record this podcast, so I have absolutely no idea when I'm recording the podcast. But hey, I'm casting Golden Gauntlet, and that's even better. I'll have more major announcements coming relatively soon. If you're interested in hearing them, please make sure you're checking me out at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. In addition, you can find me releasing videos every day at youtube.com/@SnapJudgmentsPod, where I just realized I've done videos for something like around 800 days in a row. So if you want to be pretty damn sure you're going to get a video in a given day about Marvel Snap covering the game in great detail, please make sure you check out SnapJudgmentsPod on YouTube. We also have a Patreon that we'll talk about later this episode if you're interested, patreon.com/snapjudgments. And no other socials I care about. Please don't follow me on Twitter. Twitter should die in a fire. Any further things before we get to our stupidly big topic today?
No, I think we should just dive straight in before Toxic Soul King wants to go back to have another bath nap.
What we're doing is we're going to rank every card that released because I'm an idiot. Fundamentally, I just want to be clear that I'm an idiot. We're going to rank every card that released in 2025 in Marvel Snap. We're going to talk about them, how they changed, what they taught us about the game, and then we're going to rank them. And like we're going to rank them for those of you watching live by literally moving around the pictures in the order on the screen. Do we want to count down or count up is the question I have to ask everyone. Should the first card people see when they click on the slideshow/show notes be the best card or the worst card?
The worst card.
That's a good question.
I like
worst
the worst
card.
card.
Done.
Yeah.
Toxic had a take. I like the worst card too. All right. We are not in Harold's time yet, man. Harold's will be next week's episode whenever the I figure out how to release next week's episode and talk to Tucker about figuring out a time. So,
oh yeah, right. New season. Yikes.
Yeah, with that said, we are going to kick it off with the January season pass card, which was Iron Patriot, who is a 2/3. He is add a 4, 5, or 6 card to your hand. If you're winning here after next turn, give it -4 cost. And surprisingly, the only nerf this got was to make it -3 cost. Taxi, how good was this card upon release?
It was borderline broken. I'm not surprised about that. We shouldn't have to deal with 6
I have no idea what you're saying. You are breaking up way too much. Wait, stop. Slow down. Oh. I can't actually understand anything you're saying, sir. You are breaking up too much. Nick, you go while he figures that out.
Okay. So this card was crazy broken. Like it was insanely powerful. Combining this with a Juggernaut or Negasonic with priority just was a insane card. I think we you talked about this ad nauseum. Is you hit with this card, they have no idea what you've got. There's that huge amount of information disparity. It's crazy powerful, crazy strong. Still is maybe a little bit less so with some of the changes, but I still think this is one of the better cards that released this year.
Taxi.
Yeah, as Nick said, better?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect now.
As Nick said, like information disparity is always like scary in this game, and just fighting for prio that early and having like a card that maybe decides the whole outcome of the game in like the third round is scary, and dropping like a 6 drop for 2 energy is not healthy for the game at all.
So I think that this introduces the two big themes of the year, and I don't know if these are the two big themes, but what I'm going into looking back at Marvel Snap in 2025, the two big themes of the year are information disparity, cards that create something your opponent can't plan for. And I think that has been a major theme. The other major theme, which has been up and down and all over the place, and this one has been sort of a roller coaster, is how much priority matters in the early game, how much winning locations matters in the early game. And this card, being the first card of the year, really introduced us to both. This sort of became the center of the good card pile. Those two things, playing with information disparity, obviously with tech cards, right? Information disparity and tech cards became the meta. And for a while, that was like, I want prio, and I've got to figure out what not to do with it. And then once like this kind of card fell out of favor, throwing prio and running cards like Shang and Enchantress became the meta. So like I think we ended up in a really interesting place, like just sort of this long year long roller coaster about those two things.
Yep, I agree. It was quite the start and quite the way to kick off a whole new not even archetype because I mean obviously cards like Colson exist, but with that huge discount, it's ridiculous what that did.
Yeah. It's also worth remembering that Arishem was still working from turn one when this came out, so you could often do turn one this, turn two like nearly any freaking card in the game, or by turn three nearly any card in the game, which was just absurdly strong too. So this, yeah, really one of the stronger cards. We don't have to rank it yet because it's the first card, but ranking it requires us to talk about the second card, right? So let's go over and see what that second card is. Oh no, they released her with him with Victoria Hand. Victoria Hand's a 2/3. Ongoing. Your cards that were created in your hand have +2 power. And Victoria Hand is the kind was amazing with Iron Patriot. But also is a card that got to the theme where they're trying to push us currently in the game, where they're trying to push us away from where they made us play Iron Patriot and into synergy piles. Recent buffs like Bullman, recent buffs like Misery, recent buffs like Mirage are pushing us more to playing synergy decks than, or trying to, failing still, I think, push us more toward playing synergy decks than pure good stuff or tech piles. Victoria Hand is the sort of embodiment of that. What do we think of Hand Toxie? And what's better, it or Iron Patriot overall?
Overall, I would say probably Vic. She is so strong. She almost screams like some candidate for a nerf. Like since the moment she came out, she was like always like a decent deck. And right now in this meta and this economy, she's probably again one of the strongest archetypes we have. She probably has to. She probably needs to get touched somehow. And I guess overall, with all the synergies we have with Vic, she will be probably stronger and is stronger than Iron Patriot, who gives you like one card, but Vic is just like a whole archetype by her own.
Yeah, I think now she dwarfs what Iron Patriot can do. It's funny at the time she was one of the cards that was kind of just she wasn't really talked about a ton. She wasn't really promoted a ton. And I don't think she really saw a huge uptick until I think over the last few months with all of the hand generation decks that have been really powerful. Like when I was on stream with Zenade, that's what he was having me do was Victoria hand deck. And he's like, there's a guarantee that there is a very hard way to lose if you draw these specific cards. I think she's incredibly strong now, but at the time, I think she did pale a little bit in comparison to Iron Patriot.
A lot had to be nerfed for her to be good, right? Like the synergy deck to play was Scream. If you were going to
Mm.
play a synergy deck for most of the year, the deck that you should have played was Scream, and they had to nerf Scream like what 4 times before Scream ended up being brought into line. Um, and like Surfer was better for a large portion of the year, and then Thanos was better, like, and then Good Stuff Piles, like they had to nerf a lot, like Galacta and Gwenpool, and all these cards had to be nerfed to really make Victoria Hand stand out. I, I don't know if I have her ahead of Iron Patriot for the year. For right now, she's certainly a better card than Iron Patriot, right? She is an archetype. But for the year, like if we're talking about like impact on the game, like she's the best right now, right? And she's the best right now partially because they refuse to nerf her and they keep buffing her cards. Whereas like
Mhm.
everything else is sort of arrow pointing down. I think they've decided that this is where they want arrow pointing up. But you know what? This is another example of the arrow pointing up and this information disparity, right?
Mhm.
Because you are generating random cards, you are generating unknown nodes of power, unknown amounts of power, how many Victoria hands do you have, so on. That's the kind of thing your opponent cannot accurately plan for. So like this is another information disparity card, even if it is a synergy version of that instead of a singular um, powerful effect. Well, I guess it's also a singular powerful effect, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
All right, so I have this as for the year worse than Iron Patriot, and Toxie has it better. Nick, you're the deciding vote.
Are we taking into account the whole year and where it stands now, or when it launched? I don't think we discussed that. Or if we did, it slipped out of my brain.
So I think it's worth looking at the whole year just for like impact on Marvel Snap because this isn't meant to be just like a what's the best now, right? Like we do the tier list videos for that for the specific cards. This I think is trying to take into account historical. We're trying to see sort of trends in Marvel Snap.
This one's hard because I do see a huge benefit to Victoria Hand as a deck right now, but it's limited without having the specific things that you need to have. So I want to say Victoria Hand, but I look at the domination that Iron Patriot had over the entire spectrum of skill levels. I think Victoria Hand is the kind of deck that is fine in the hands of someone like me, but it excels when you've got someone who really knows how to work it the best. So uh, I'm struggling between which one to pick. I think if we're gonna pick, let's do Victoria Hand just because she is the less standard option of the two,
So,
in my opinion.
so
She's at least something different.
all right, so we don't even have to move a slide yet. Next up, Moonstone. Hey, finally a card that's not information disparity, right? And it's not a
Correct?
prio piece. Moonstone is
True.
a 4/6. She has not changed, I don't believe. Neither has
Nope.
Victoria Hand, although I kept expecting Victoria Hand to be a 2/2. I think the reason she hasn't changed is because they're pushing synergy, and Victoria Hand decks don't run a lot of tech, right? So like that's why they like her. But ongoing
Yeah.
has the ongoing effects of your 1, 2, and 3 cost cards here. So where has this landed? What do we think of this? Take it away, Tox.
I really like the idea about Moonstone, just about the fact that when she got released, she was like decent, but she had like a lot of upcoming cards or help in the future, and she was like always, whenever an ongoing card gets released, that's either a 1 or 2 or 3 drop. We can always think about it. Is it some synergy with Moonstone? So she will always be kind of relevant. And when she got released, it was always like Moonstone, Victoria Hand. We saw it with Mr. Fantastic as well, like those three in a pile, which was like kind of fine, but it wasn't strong enough when she got released. But over the year, the ongoing cards kept on rising, and she was one of the. She was really, really strong and probably time wise one of the strongest decks in the game with Thanos ongoing. Like Thanos going with Goliath coming on, with Captain America. All that things together, I would say she's probably the weakest out of the three, but she has like a lot of she had a lot of potential, and she's probably always kind of meta relevant.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think she's a incredibly strong card. She's expensive, just as far as figuring out where to play her. But when she's played well, I think she's incredibly strong. It's just a matter of, do you pick this over other options in a deck, or do you just like, are you committing to one specific lane depending on what decks you're playing? I definitely don't think she holds a candle next to either Victoria Hand or Iron Patriot.
There is someone hanging outside the building across from me by ropes painting the building.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry. Like literally I just looked and there is like literally sitting on 2 ropes painting the building across from me. Okie dokie. Yeah, Moonstone is the worst card we've talked about so far, right? Her home is largely when like cards like Victoria Hand and Patriot are good. They've released a lot of cards that work with her, but they haven't released anything since Victoria Hand that's like amazing with her. At least I don't think
Mm,
so. We'll see as we go through. But like what it's just she
One,
waxes and wanes with how good the card she wants to double is. Go ahead, Taxi.
there will be one card where she has synergy now with, but we come to that.
Who?
Kata.
Oh, we'll get there. All right, we'll get there. Oh, Carter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sure. But like the best Carter decks have been thus far Surfer decks, and they released Carter as a card that specifically did not work with Moonstone at first, right?
True.
They had to buff her into that. So like she's fine, but like and Carter Moonstone has only really been meta for like a week. Like that just it didn't end up being the thing we thought it would be.
The biggest
Moonstone is very good. Go for it.
the biggest issue just
The
in
biggest.
Moonstone, she screams after like you can save your enchantress for turn 6, and we all know like the text piles and the
Hmm.
text loops, and you can't play a Cosmo on the Moonstone lane, then it's just too expensive, and it's just like an easy target to for your opponent most of the time.
The Cosmo also turns off the potential Mystique in that lane, and Mystique is often one of the better things to do with that combo. Like Mystique
Exactly.
Iron Man under Moonstone was a little meta thing to do for a little while. Like it's the worst card we've talked about, but it's still a very good card. It's not an archetype builder, but it does enable archetypes to be stronger and more interactive and more fun. I think it's a really good card. I think this is I don't know if it's my favorite design because I think Victoria Hand's a really good design, but this is probably the fairest card we've seen so far.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, barely into January, and we're at Bullseye. This is our second card that took a nerf. Bullseye was a 3/3 and is now a 3/2. Activate, discard all cards that cost one or less from your hand. Afflict that many enemy cards with -2 power. Turns out we don't give a shit about the afflict. We just like discarding a bunch of cards. Where is Bullseye, and how good is he?
Shall I start?
Tox.
Okay. So,
Yeah, yeah. You always start.
um, okay, okay, perfect. Bullseye is idea-wise a great card because he revived a little bit of this card. Back then, we only had like the basic. Okay, we play Dracula into Mordok into Apocalypse. That's this card now. With Bullseye, we finally had some combo pieces with Dakin coming, with like the smaller packages, with the swarms. I even remember exactly that season when Bullseye and Victoria came out. Me and Glazer had a lot of ideas how to make swarms, Victoria, Bullseye a thing.
Hmm.
That was like kind of fun. And he found himself in multiple really good archetypes. Like we don't have to talk about this card, Dakin, who can bring out like 20 something power Dakins normally. But he even found a little slot in tournament decks with C3, like the C3 decks that just concentrate themselves to discard the swarms and get like a lot of stuff out. So he made himself good for two really strong archetypes, and only from that he deserves already like a better slot than Moonstone.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This was a card that I'm glad ended up being better than a lot of people thought that it was going to be. It got oppressive for a little bit, annoyingly so, but outside of that, it brought a different take to discard. Yes, you're still doing your basic discard stuff. A lot of times, yes, you're still bringing out Dracula, but it allowed you to have another part of the combo piece, another card that you could play. Um, rather than just waiting around and either skipping turn 3 or back in the day when discard would have storm to protect the to Morbius. There was some just really strange stuff. But yeah, the discard surfer things that came out, this was a really crazy card that I think really accentuated um discard and brought a lot to it. This 100% goes for me goes above I don't think it goes above Victoria Hand, but it 100% goes above Moonstone. I think this is one of the better cards this year.
There is a card between Victoria Hand and Moonstone, so you've both done a wonderful job of ignoring Iron Patriot, though. Uh, oh, also, I should have moved Moonstone to the bottom, and I totally did not. Let me move Moonstone to our worst card thus far that we've talked about. And Moonstone's now down there, and we are back to Bullseye. Okay, so let's talk about the different things he does. First, there's the Bullseye archetype, right? The Bullseye discard deck. That is a real deck in Marvel Snap.
Mhm.
That is like, that's an information disparity deck if ever there was one, where like you're waiting to see on the last turn, do they have the Modoc too? right? Like, do they have that last piece too to make this go up to crazy numbers, or do I get to win? Do I get to compete? Um, and it was basically interaction proof for a long time because when Bullseye was 3, he was basically immune to Red Guardian, right? This card has shown up in several other archetypes. We've got Cerebro 3, we've got Surfer, but neither of our wonderful guests, I don't know if Nick counts as a guest, neither of our wonderful friends have mentioned the current deck, the Invisible Woman deck that runs Bullseye. Toxie, have you
Mm.
played that yet?
I haven't.
You should have watched Friday's video. Thursday's video? Days of the week are hard. Whatever. I don't like because it's a different day when I release them versus when people see them. Whatever. Who cares? Neither. The point is, this card keeps finding new homes because it does such a powerful thing. Like it and Dokken make Dokken with any kind of buff a worthwhile play. And now, like Prodigy is a real card or a semi-real card right now, and this Prodigy is a real combo, right? Like being able to give double negatives is a real thing to do. There's a lot of really good stuff to do with Bullseye. There's a lot of powerful stuff. Yeah, as Space notes in chat, combining this with Moon Girl is extremely strong. So there's just a lot of things to do with this. I didn't think Bullseye was going to be that good because I didn't think the -2 to that many different cards would be that good. And turns out I was right about that part. What I missed was having a like consistent targeted discard outlet makes so many different things so much stronger. Where are we ranking this? Iron Patriot. Better or worse?
I would always
Hmm.
almost would say he's better than Iron Patriot. Only about the
Yeah,
fact
I think
that
he's
he's so
survived.
versatile. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this does go above Iron Patriot. It has sat in a place of power, if maybe not as overpowered as OG Iron Patriot. It has established itself very clearly as a very strong card that has weathered, the nerfs that it's gotten. Yeah, above Iron
Is
Patriot.
there an argument it's above Victoria Hand because Victoria Hand was only semi-relevant for part of the year and Bullseye has always been relevant?
That was
I
my
think so,
next thought.
in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, so it goes above. Everyone just had the same thought at the same time. Sounds good. All right. Next up, a card that only sort of existed for a while and then came back and then disappeared and then came back and then disappeared. It is Ares. 4/6 on reveal. Compare the power of the top 3 cards of both decks. If your total is higher, +6 power. And I just want to lead us off by saying that is basically playing the card game War to anyone who is of an age to have played the card game War. And Ares is the god of war, and that is the best top down design Marvel Snap has ever done and probably will ever do because it works on just so many freaking levels.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Taxi. I mean, 2
He was
levels, but like still, that's one more than Snap gets to. Good.
he was a major piece of the Sauron decks. He elevated that as well. Like when he came out, Sauron was still, I guess Sauron wasn't nerfed at all. If I'm not completely tripping with the
Mm,
time. Was
Sauron wasn't nerfed, but no one was playing Sauron. It was the Surtur decks back then.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean Surtur, sorry. Um
Okay.
but he elevated the deck as well. You get a 4/12 out, and the fact that I liked about the most about him is if you kind of have a deck tracker on and you see like what number he gives you out, you can a little bit guess like which card could be like your next 2 or 3 top deck cards. That's something I always try to do, which is kind of cool. And it helps you a little bit out with the opponent information. Like if you know on, you usually should know around turn 3, turn 4 what deck your opponent is playing. Seeing then which power output your opponent has there, you could guess a little bit, okay, what could come up to me? What's his draws? Maybe it helps you with snapping or snap conditions. But except of the Surtur decks, not Sauron, Surtur, he wasn't like people tried him out in Irish and people tried out different stuff with him, but I guess just the basic 4/12 wasn't enough for any deck except of the one that really needs the 10 plus power cards in early.
Yeah, he was occasionally strong. The information, Toxie, I know I personally never did the math on it. I never looked at that and went, okay, so that means I have this could be a lot of the reasons why I'm not better at Snap. But he was an okay card. He worked well with the Surtur package when Surtur was at its strongest, but he's just kind of nothing burger card now. Like you see him played, and I mean, a 412 is not bad, but it's just kind of an awkward situation. You're not going to necessarily pick him over a lot of the other options in the decks that he could go in anymore.
And it's an awful feeling if you
I
miss.
don't.
Like you miss and you have a 4/6
Yeah,
on
Mm-hmm.
the board.
I
but
could have
if
played
you're not
Root.
playing in a yeah, but if you're not playing in a tournament, right? If you're not playing in a tournament, that's just they snap and I retreat.
Mhm.
That's a one cube game, right? Like that's not the worst. It's a bad feeling, but like what it actually means is usually not terrible for you. Like because sometimes they have Shang and you're like doing the Shang gamble, right? You're like doing, and then you're losing more cubes. That's a nice
Yeah.
early retreat. While that feels worse, the early retreat is generally better for you. The other thing is this is better than Moonstone for the year, right? Like I think Moonstone is a lot cooler. I like Moonstone a lot more. But for the year, I think this has to be better than Moonstone because it was in all the Surtur decks and then it was in all the Sauron decks. And those have been a major presence throughout the year. And this is the first card that, well, I guess this and Moonstone don't really fit any of our themes. I think it's clearly like the top tier cards are the first are Bullseye, Victoria Hand, and Iron Patriot, and then this is a tier down. Like this and Moonstone are a tier down. I think Moonstone's probably better now, but I think overall this is probably the same tier as Moonstone. Any thoughts?
Hmm.
Like slightly better, but same tier.
Yeah.
I would,
I
same
have no
tier, but
argument
it
with
was
that. I
better.
think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like again, Moonstone is better right now. Don't get that wrong. We'll try and shout that out when possible. But even though Moonstone is better right now, like Ares is just kind of like had it a year. All right. Sam
Uh,
Wilson, who has been nerfed 3 different times. 3? 2? It's hard to say. Game start, add his shield to your location. Sorry, he was a 2/3. Now he's a 2/2. All right. Add cap shield to a random location. Ongoing, you can move cap shield. So he was a 2/3. Now he's a 2/2. Ongoing, this can't be destroyed. Give your cap +2 power in this new location. The shield was a 1/1. Now it's a 1/0. I guess he was only nerfed twice, right? He went from a 2/3 to a 2/2, and the shield went from a 1/1 to a 1/0. Oh no, the shield also was a 1 cost card, and then had to be nerfed out of being able to be used with Cull in every single deck.
Yep.
So it was 3 nerfs. All right. Why is Sam Wilson the number 1 card on this list right now, Toxie?
I mean, it's perfectly fitting. It's a season pass card again, and it was just you played him in every deck you can. You get him out on 2. You have a
Mm-hmm.
2/5 already. It's a crazy power scaler. He later on, because of the double ongoings, will get some. He will get some support package. He made ongoing again more consistent. You had already 2 ongoings on the board, which is, for example, good with Spectrum. Spectrum would be already a +4 on those 2 cards, and being able to win that thing was good. Plus the shield when it came out was a 1/1, so you already always started with prior if your opponent didn't play Sam, which made like the prior games way easier for you.
Yeah, the prio alone puts this guy like crazy high on the overall list. Like he was the 2 drop. He took every other 2 drop and just kind of went, "You are worthless. I'm picking Sam. If you're only going to pick 1, 2, he is going to be the card to go in there." I think he was just crazy strong. The fact that he's had to have so many nerfs and has impacted so many other surrounding metas, whether it be Thanos, whether it be freaking the big giant, like the dumb idiot stacks, because he had a
Mm-hmm.
1/1 shield and you could play Cull or you could move it and play Cull wherever you wanted to. I think all of those things really impacted the game in a way that none of the other cards have done.
Yeah, he was the ultimate prio card, right? The prio deck existed largely on his back. He was the reason it was so good. And then when he stopped being a good prio card, we went back to the standard operating procedure of wanting to throw prio in Marvel Snap. He was like the absolute ultimate in that. He also created 2 decks and went in a third really, really meta deck. Like the Scream decks, the second he came out, were fundamentally changed. They were great before and they hit a new level. Scream spent like 4 months as the best deck. And often on turn 2, you were playing Sam Wilson over Scream because he was just that good. Then on top of having access to that, he also created an ongoing build that was never quite the best, but was still pretty good. That existed because of him. But what really existed because of him was ongoing Thanos, right? Like ongoing Thanos spent a lot of the year as the best or the second best deck, along with regular Thanos, which he also went in but was less important in. Like he was in just every deck. He's probably going to end up the card of the year. I don't know for sure, but I would be surprised if he didn't. Like his rise and fall, I think, defines the year in Marvel Snap, at least thus far, 2/3 of the year through the year. The rise of Sam Wilson from February, meaning that these decks are good, and then the fall of Sam Wilson, meaning that now these other decks are good, and these decks that were good have taken a step back, is, I think, what has happened to Marvel Snap this year.
And it's
Number
still
one?
crazy. It's still, yeah, number one, and it's still crazy to see he still has like a lot of play lines. Like he shifted
Mhm.
away from
Mhm.
being like an out include in every deck, and now he's good with the season cards of this season because you can fill up lanes and move the stuff out again. You can control that easily. You don't have to play on that lane. He has just
N-
yeah, he just turned out to be like good in now really a lot of still specific decks. Plus, he always reduces Mockingbird. Yeah.
Yeah. No one talks about this, but Scream's still great. Like
Mm.
Scream's a really, really strong deck. And it's really good against a lot of the good stuff decks that sort of float around. It's not great against Victoria Hand. But like a lot of the good stuff decks that are floating around that are like Fenris Wolf type shenanigans, those are fairly easy to clog. And like even when they pull your stuff, they're pulling stuff that just moves a card, and you're just like, all right, well, thanks for that trigger, I guess. Like those decks just are way, way better than people think about. I think they're still at least B tier, if not higher.
I think people
Yeah.
just skip it out of their brain and just
hmm
leave it, which is disappointing, but it is what keeps the meta fresh, I guess.
I mean, I guess like Victoria Hand came out before Sam Wilson, and and Scream decks are currently really Sam Wilson decks, right? Like Sam
Mm.
is the most important card in those decks because you're running like Hydra Stomper and stuff. But like you're running Hydra Stomper, you're running Craven, you're running just all these little packages that sort of key off Sam. So like Sam is the most important card, and Sam came out after Victoria Hand, and I think Victoria, and don't get me wrong, I think Victoria Hand right now is better than Scream, but I don't think it's that much better.
I guess it
No,
depends on if you're facing a bunch of Luke Cage, that
no one's
can
facing Luke
negate
Cage. Luke Cage
some of
doesn't
that,
fucking exist.
unless you're
And also, it
playing
doesn't
in,
matter.
yeah.
Also, it doesn't matter. Like Luke doesn't stop Scream decks for shit. Scream decks are move my own card decks and scale up while having a control package decks. Scream is a nice
Fair.
tool for them, but it's not like nearly as pivotal as she was. Like when those decks first came out, if you didn't see Scream on two, you could get snapped on. Now, like I played Sam on two. I played Silk into Stomper. I like there's a lot of other plays in those decks now. So chat notes that Scream has fallen off because of Invisible Woman and Prodigy. I think Scream is incredible against Invisible Woman and Prodigy decks. Really, really strong against them. They can easily run Killmonger. They like the old Fudge version should absolutely rock most Invisible Woman decks. Like Prodigy cares an awful lot about where cards are, right? And it's really, really hard to
Yeah.
do that. And then just you run Killmonger in certain versions, you run Lady Deathstrike, and the problem is solved for a lot of those decks. I think it's actually a really, really solid meta answer. I'm surprised I haven't seen more of. Um, I mean, look, I probably haven't seen more of it because I haven't had time to talk about it until this video, and I haven't put it out there. But I think it is a good answer. Anything else?
No. Great card.
He
Still.
Yeah,
speaks for
best
himself.
card of the month, card of the years so far. Uh, not card of the year so far. Our lowest tier card
No.
thus far is Joaquin Torres, who is now a 2/2, but was released as somehow a 3/4. Ongoing. The unrevealed abilities of your one cost cards happen twice. I don't think we have to take long on this, but please go ahead, Toxie.
I mean, I saw him, and the only thing that was like kind of decent was buff decks that played Claire with him, and then you did like the Claire spells on him that made him actually -6 on that lane, which was like kind of nice to do. But honestly, you shouldn't build a deck around Taurus, and you probably shouldn't put Taurus into a deck. He's just way too weird. I don't know how ever to fix this card, but he's sadly not good enough right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to factor in, like, how is this card so bad,
I can
but
answer that.
also, like, it still does what it says on the tin. Like, it still does exactly what you want it to, but it never feels like the right thing that you would want to play in any of the decks. I think some of that is due to the decks that he goes in that just are not strong enough to justify having him as well.
It's
I
just
mean,
weird.
he's not good. He's not good because he was designed with Redwing as a 1/2 that returns
Mm,
other ones to your hand.
right.
And now Falcon's the only card that really works with him because you can Beast or Toxin him, but you don't want to because then he's not on the board, right?
Mhm.
If he had a like can't be bounced text on him, I think he might be good. Like, because then I can go 1/1 Beast, keep him on the board, and I'm still good to go. Having to replay even a 2-drop is a pain in the ass, like a huge pain in the ass. You can make him either, if you want him to be good, he can either be a 1-drop, right? Or he can have text that says I can't be bounced. Either one of those would do the job. But he was designed such that I could go 1/1, play Redwing, bounce both of those ones, and still have him on the board. Because that's
He
what
just
the original Redwing did, right? That doesn't exist, so he's bad.
Mm.
he just doesn't fit to any curve you usually play, because if you play like a bunch of one drops, you usually want to play bishop, but if you have to play him on 2, you play the one drops on 3, but where is then bishop? And if you do like him on 2, bishop on 3, and then the one drops, then the curve is just not fitting somehow. He makes just everything more awkward. It's better off to just get
Well,
ones down the wheels.
and when he cost, and remember he cost 3, so you were playing him instead of bishop and hoping to get that much power out of him. And like you could, right? But he also sits on the board saying this is going to happen here, right? Like you're going to play a rocket here, you're going to play a whatever thing here. And so he's not as good as he should be. Like he's just not. He needs the update, and I think they're perfectly happy just letting him be bad. He's old enough that my son is slamming something, and I don't know what, and it's not good because my wife is definitely still asleep, so that's going to be a problem. But I think that he is ultimately like he's old enough that if they were going to make him good, I feel like they would have made him good. I think he's likely to just be a forgotten card forever.
Yeah, seems like it. He just seems like one of the ones that's we'll deal with that at some point in time.
We also fairly often overrate this style of card, right? Like, remember how good everyone thought
Mm.
Grandmaster would be upon release, and then it took Grandmaster like a year and buffs to get good. Like this thing does take time. Like it's possible they release that Redwing text tomorrow on some new card, and all of a sudden he's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. Victoria Hand sat dormant for months. There were the handful of people that were playing her, but she just sat and collected dust, and then things changed,
Mm,
and now, boom.
yeah, at her worst, she was several tiers higher than
Oh
Falcon,
yeah,
right? Like
agreed,
at
agreed.
her worst, she was like top of C, bottom of B, right? Like Joaquim Torres is top of D, bottom of C at best. Like at best. Like I wouldn't. If you told me he was an F tier card for you, I don't think I'd argue.
Yeah, which is sad because I mean, he's basically a Wong for one cost. It's just there's not as many
How
one
many one
costs.
cost? Yeah, how many one
Yeah,
cost do you want a Wong?
yeah,
3. Basically hood,
yep,
right? Like you really, really want a
yep.
Wong hood, and like I got misery. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Why
All
would
right.
I do that when I can use a 4/9 misery? Anyway, shutting up now.
Yeah. Enough of that fucking card. Thunderbolt Ross is a 2/2. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power, and the only question we have to answer is this or Torres.
This
This is better.
Yeah,
he was played
Why?
way
sadly,
more like
yeah.
he was played more in Hella lists. Hella liked the thing that you maybe you draw your 10 drops, while Torres was basically not included in like any serious decks.
Fair.
By the way, I
Why
like
is
the
this still worse than Moonstone?
Wiccan is still popular.
Who?
Wiccan is probably always a popular archetype. So
Yeah.
now with maybe the Haibo stuff coming up, he could have a chance, but honestly, you I don't think that Surtu will make such a big cut that you say like, oh, Thunderbolt Ross will be good again.
He is an end of turn ability. You can
He
draw
is.
Hulks and Galactus in a couple days.
But the thing is, why would you play him over something that's actually more flexible, like a
Because Galactus decks have to draw Galactus.
oh yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like I think that might actually be his
Mm,
thing, right? Like if you're running the big Galactus deck, you really want Galactus so that you can get the whatever it's called, his ability, my Herald ability.
mhm.
And if you want to get my Herald ability, I can see Thunderbolt Ross being relevant. I can see him flying up the list when we look back, but he's kind of utter garbage now.
Yep. And he'll go back down. Like, I think that's the thing, is he will go back down again once that dies out, just like he did when Hela passed on, like, her dominance. That Ross just kind of went back to the back burner to wait for the next thing where you need to pull big cards. But that's the thing, is you don't really want to, like, there's not a need to pull big cards as you used to. So
Fair. We good?
Yep.
I see no real reason to spend time on the my baby, who was buffed to a 3/5, released as a 3/3. I forgot. I wanted to hate this card because it's not the bounce card that was promised, but it is Redwing on reveal. Wait, what? I still have the original Redwing text on here that never released.
your
Redwing is
dream
a
text.
of my dream text. It was supposed to when one of your other one cost cards return one of your other one cost cards here to your hand and give it +2 power, which would have been completely broken and amazing. And I can't believe that we've gotten 17 broken move cards, but we couldn't get one broken fucking bounce card. However, um, Redwing is actually when you move Redwing, when you move this, I don't remember the exact word. When Redwing moves, the first time Redwing moves, it puts a card from your hand to the location Redwing moved from. I love Redwing. Where's Redwing rank?
Higher than
Toxie?
Moonstone and all that stuff. I'm thinking right now. I guess higher than
Higher than
Moonstone,
Ares?
but higher than
It's
Ares as well.
there's
Yeah.
no chance it goes above Iron Patriot.
No.
Yeah. So it's higher than Ares, but worse than the broken 2-drops plus Bullseye.
There you go. Why? What's so good about Redwing? What did it do? What does it do?
He has like a lot of he got like a lot of support casts around him, which make him better. He is good with Madam Web. He made drag dump again good. Like, remember, drag dump always like relying on Black Swan and then that's it. But you can now do like it's just drag dump but better, because you can best case scenario get out 3 6-drops. One with Redwing, one with drag, and you put the other 6-drop out, which is like already a lot of power. He fits into like the archetypes. And I guess if your opponent isn't running like a Shang deck or something with Shang in it, you can just purely dump him out, get Pry with this, and probably win auto one lane with that.
Yeah,
Nick?
I think he's a fun card. I don't think he's an amazing card. But I think he is still a very strong card. More enjoyable to play than a lot of the cards I think we're going to see this month, and one that was a bit criminally underrated once he kind of had a place as to where he fits in the direct dump decks, or even just some of the surprise Heimdall decks where he just pulls down who knows what. And I remember the bug when he was first released, because I think if you accidentally pulled him down with something else, he could move like he could play a card twice. I don't know. That was crazy. It did not last. I think he still could use of some more tweaks to be stronger, and I don't think he would go above a lot of the other cards that are here, but I think he's stronger than a lot of people have given him credit for.
He creates an archetype. Like that archetype exists because Redwing exists. There's no move dump deck without Redwing, right? He's the most important card in that deck. That deck has at various times been in the middle of B tier. I don't think it's much worse than that. Stardust is coming, but we're not ranking the future or ranking where we are. And so I think it's probably right around Moonstone. I wouldn't argue if you said it's better or worse than Moonstone. I think it's better than Ares because Ares goes in some stuff and is fully replaceable. Moonstone isn't replaceable but goes in decks, and isn't replaceable in the decks he goes in. Moonstone's probably peak tire, to be honest. But I really, really do like Redwing decks, and I think that anything that creates an archetype is sort of can get bonus points here because it's another deck to play. Like so far, the only like archetype creating decks have been Redwing and Bullseye, right? And Victoria Hand. Redwing, Bullseye, and Victoria Hand. So like we've got 3 archetype creating cards, and like all 3 have been ranking reasonably highly because they are what adds the variety to Marvel Snap. Almost everything else goes in something we already have, and while that's nice, that just means more good stuff usually.
It's interesting because all of these cards synergize, like they require synergies with something else. Like Victoria Hand's a great card. It's not if you don't get any copies. You know, Red Wing is a great card. If you don't have a move element, it doesn't have the same power.
Well,
So I think that's
yeah,
interesting.
that's what the synergy deck is, though, right? Like
Yeah.
if it was just a good card, it would just be in a good stuff deck.
hmm
Like if it's not played with other cards that go with it, that's what makes it a synergy. That's literally what makes it a synergy deck versus Iron Patriot, which like has synergies, but you could just fucking play it.
Mhm.
Sam Wilson like has synergies, but like 8,000 synergies. If you synergize with every card in the game, you're not a synergy card anymore. You're just a good card.
Yeah. And I think it's a matter of balancing those good cards with those synergistic cards because I think sometimes you do need to have good stuff cards. It just seems like they're not printing those good stuff cards as frequently, which maybe is a good thing.
I think this year has been defined by good stuff. Good stuff trying to be unpredictable. By the way, this is once
Mm,
more a hidden energy, a hidden information card. We
mm, mhm.
February has been largely a miss, right? February has been the weakest cards we've got. We've got Torres, we've got Ross, and this, which is good, but like fine. So February was almost like entirely a miss outside of Sam, which was completely absurd.
which is kind of
This is
good
the last.
because you said Ares was one of the best designed card. The season was good designed
Mhm.
because it fit to the Sam Wilson movie. It was perfectly fine with that being
Mm.
everything is mid.
Yeah, everything is mid and completely forgettable. Speaking of a card that's pretty good, but honestly kind of mid and forgettable, it's a Diamondback, who's a 3/3 ongoing enemy card here afflicted with negative power, have an additional -2 power. Good card. Fine, I guess. Whatever. Where's Diamondback?
Diamond, that's like the issue about Diamondback. When she came out, everybody played Diamondback and Luke Cage, so Diamondback couldn't thrive at all
Hmm.
because everybody was playing the deck. Now, when I see her, or when you play like an archetype where you put out a bunch of cards into one lane, like any Zooish archetype, she can sometimes win that lane with Man Thing combined. So she has definitely a power thing.
Hmm.
It's just like the worst thing is she's red guardable, and if you don't get your combo pieces, if you don't get your hazmat and stuff, she's probably too slow and won't do enough. Or if your opponent just says like, "Oh, Diamondback, I play just one big card in that lane," and then it's like, "Okay, what should I do there now? I probably have to put more power on that," and that's not what Diamondback wants to do. She wants to win the lane usually alone.
Yeah, but Diamondback works. She's a card that works incredibly well. I think the fact that, she's stealing that power and you could be buffing that up with your um Ajax, words. Um, I don't know. I think she's still a really strong card, but it very much depends on the meta and what you're building around her. I think in the decks, like the current deck that's going around to the Grand Arena, having Diamondback in there is incredibly strong and can be a huge surprise because you do get to surprise with her. I think if she's, something that's hidden and she gets hit with Eliath, then she's very worthless. Um, I don't know. I still think she's incredibly strong. I've seen her flip lanes like crazy.
She has just
The
some
problem
issues.
is, you. Mhm.
She
Well,
dies
the problem.
to the right. Oh, she just
Go
dies
ahead. Go
to
ahead.
the meta right now. Like you can escape that
Mhm.
lane, so Hazmat is gone. She's an ongoing card, which is not good against Enchantress stuff right now. And you can Enchantress maybe the Man Thing and the Diamondback on that one lane. She just kind of is too slow right now for the meta we have here.
She's like the seventh best three in Afflict, right? Like you want to play Hazmat and Luke over her, and then you want to make any of your fours three and play them over her. So she's what you play when Malekith gives you her, or you have nothing else to do, which is like not where you want to be. She's a good card. Like you still run her in Afflict, right? But like, would you ever play her on three over Antivenom or Malekith? No. You
No.
might play her over Man Thing, but honestly, probably not. You'd play her over Laufey early, but like late, you're almost always going to choose Laufey over her. Like, so where is her? When do I want to play her consistently? Like I'm playing Luke over her unless I'm really scared of Enchantress, but now I'm just using her as Enchantress bait. Whoopee, I got a 3/3. Like, what am I so excited about for this card? It's a good card. It goes in the deck, but it's not great. Um, I'm going. I think it goes somewhere probably above Ross, below Moonstone, but in closer to
Yeah.
Moonstone than Ross. Yeah,
Yeah, seems fair.
I feel like we're underrating Moonstone a little bit, but whatever. It's fine. It's in the right tier. We got our first Series 4 card of the year. It's Unca Ben. What's up, Unca Hunka Ben? 1/2. When this card is destroyed, replace it with Spider Man in the single best animation in Marvel Snap. Taxi?
I
Is
just
Uncle
wanted to say
Ben better than Thunderbolt Ross?
easily, yeah. Like we shortly talked about it, so we come back to that. The fudge list was just
Hmm.
way too good, and because of Uncle Ben, you played stuff like Lady Deathstrike, you played stuff like Killmonger. Those
Hmm.
two, for example, are like tech cards. I would, yeah, both are tech cards, and they are good against like almost every time in the meta because there's almost some one overpowered one drop or something below 3 power that you can kill with. So he made Scream better because you get two Spider-Mans, you can destroy anything, and I know back in the days how much pain it was to play against that Scream deck because it was like him including Lady Deathstrike and Killmonger, I was just like, how shall I beat this deck? They have answers with everything, and most because
Hmm.
Uncle Ben was there.
Bring that deck back now. I'm telling you, it will kick ass. But yeah, Uncle Ben's really solid. Nick?
Yeah, I like this card. It was way stronger than I thought it was going to be. Um, but it works incredibly well in the Scream decks. It gives you a way to move a card out of that location, including your own. And also it gives you a buff to Hydra Stomper, it gives you reduction to Miles. It's just another move card. You can end up stealing power from their move card because of it. And you're taking out potentially other cards that you want gone, like a Victoria hand, potentially. Yeah, I think this is a surprisingly sneaky card. I don't think it has as wide a reach as some of the other ones, but I think it's incredibly strong still.
Sometimes you want to play Killmonger and one drops that aren't Deadpool. Sometimes you want to play Scream decks and run Killmonger. Sometimes you just want a great animation. Uncle Ben's there for you for all of it, teaching us life lessons. Thank you, Uncle Ben. We appreciate you. Definitely better than Thunderbolt Ross, but still probably in that tier, but not in the tier and not in the tier of Moonstone. Speaking of cards that had a moment in the sun, uh Gorgon is a 2/3 ongoing. Your opponent's cards here that didn't start in their deck cost one more with a maximum of 6. Is this better
He's
than Ben?
he's the perfect card.
Probably,
He's
right?
just
Because
like
Thanos.
really meta depending.
Yeah.
He
So I
he.
mean, so's Ben.
I mean, Screamers has most of the time like good matches, but he's like always if you see like
Yeah, but you
Thanos, if you
don't
see
always play
Arishem,
Killmonger and Scream. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Above or below Ben?
above. We dealt with
Nick, speak.
Arishem when he
Yeah.
was out.
Oh
So
no, Taxi's still going. Sorry.
We deal with Arishem
Taxi
when he
pauses
came
to
out.
think, unlike us. So
We had to deal with
yeah.
Arishem while he was out. We had to deal with Thanos while he was out. Vic is now out, and I see
mm,
not really a lot of people taking Gorgon in because although that could be like maybe good against the Moon Girl Victoria decks, he can do some serious damage against those decks. So yeah,
yeah, I think the problem with Gorgon is the same problem with most of the other cards that are so dependent on what your opponent is playing. If you are in a meta where you're not seeing your opponent playing cards that didn't start in their deck, it's an absolute worthless card and it has relatively low stats. It's the kind of thing you'd never want to draw in those situations, kind of like with Mobius. But when he excels, it's almost a guaranteed game winner, depending on when you're able to pull him out and what the opponent has to counter him. And most people aren't running counters to Gorgon. I do think he's above Ben, but that's only because I think he took down on his own a couple archetypes from their top pedestal. Like the any card that can really just knock that off when people were just laughing at this card's overall power. I think it was a good card that I just don't think it deserved to be a series 5, but I think it was and still can be a very strong card.
I mean, it was really good for Thanos mirrors, except they all ran Mobius after a week because shutting down the opposing Mockingbird was so strong, and then everyone cut Gorgon. Gorgon is Series 4. Excuse me. Sorry about that space. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. This card is certainly fine. Like it's a good card. It's about as good as Uncle Ben, where like you'll play it occasionally and be perfectly happy with it. Occasionally, like just Triskelion happens, and you're like, "Wahaha, snap!" Right? Like it's a nice card. I don't know. It's dull, but it's powerful. I don't know what else to say. Let's talk about a really really strong card. It's Laufey. 4/5 on reveal. This is also series 4, by the way. It's 4/5 on reveal. Steal 1 power from each other card here. All
I
right.
really I really like
This has to
Laufey.
be better than Diamondback, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
bless you.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. Thank you.
He is the thing I liked about Laufey the most is you. saw if your opponent understands the affliction decks or not. Because if they just slam Luke Cage on 3 and then play Laufey on 4, they already showcase that they don't really understand like the power output of that. Usually you want to debuff your
Hmm.
own stuff as well, make him grow, and then play your Cage, which is kind of strong. And
Hmm.
with that, with the Luke Cage interaction, he can easily get to like a 4-12 and do serious damage to your opponent as well. So big winner of Sanctum Showdown.
Yeah, I completely agree. This has been a card that has definitely been a grower rather than a shower. Like when he first came out, people saw that he was powerful, but he wasn't really thought about. Like people didn't talk a ton about his power level. And you look at him now, and you're right, Toxie. Being able, especially if you can hit him with Zabu, playing him, then playing Luke Cage at the very end of the game is enough to just decimate your opponent's lane because you could steal all that power, then you get it all back when you play the Luke Cage. Yeah, this card's great. He's got a good base stat line, so his floor is decent. But when he does what he does, holy smokes, yeah. Yeah, like and him plus Grandmaster was crazy when you could pull it off. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, he was a big part of the rise of the high evolutionary version of the Afflict deck for a while. I think Mobius is a little too prevalent for that deck to really be good right now, but that deck was very, very strong. Where for anyone who missed it, what you would do is you would go Ajax, Miles, Morales, and Ajax, Miles, and Abomination on the last turn of the game, which is just stupid power, and would usually win. I'm seeing a lot of Mobius, like a lot of Mobius right now. Turns out making Mobius a 3/4 means he gets played a lot more. And I think that has fundamentally limited that deck. I think Laufey's still probably worse than Moonstone and better than Diamondback because as good as he is, he's mostly just better, like better Man Thing. And I don't think he's like a tier better than Man Thing. I think he's better, right?
Mhm.
But like I don't think he's like exponentially better than Man Thing. They're usually fairly similar power. Laufey's like a 13, Man Thing's like an 11 to 13. I don't know.
That's
Like
that's
really, really strong card. What? Go ahead, Taxi.
That's the funny thing. I was even saying maybe I would even put Laufey above Moonstone at this point. Because he not only was he good in like the affliction decks, like the Haiba one or the Ajax ones, he found himself in the Sentry and Nihilus decks too. So he already made the cut in two really good decks, while Moonstone right now, or like Moonstone had like overall all, on her history like one solid archetype, while he already found himself in
Now,
two and was a major piece.
Moonstone's definitely a major piece in Victoria hand right now, right? But like you're overlooking that Moonstone had like at various times the rank 1 and 2 deck was various Moonstone bullshit that was running like the Mystique Iron Man under Moonstone type cards. That was a very, very powerful thing to do for quite a while.
Hmm. I don't know. I value
Like also Moonstone is irreplaceable and you could literally always replace Laufey.
Yeah,
It's
that's a fair
close.
Like
point. And like,
if you don't have
mm,
Moonstone for certain decks, what do you do? Right? Like for a while ongoing was like a real meta deck. They nerfed it away, but like it was a real meta deck. And like you had to have Moonstone for that. Like these decks existed. They were never the best deck, right? And like Laufey had a place in potentially the best deck for a little while, but even then it was probably a step behind the very best.
So you would put him above Ares, but shortly under Moonstone.
I think we have Ares too high because right now we have Ares ahead of
yes.
Moonstone. And I think Ares should be
Mhm.
behind Laufey and Moonstone.
That's what I wanted to consider. Yeah,
Okay, but
Yeah.
then are we happy with Redwing above these cards? Because this is all
Mm,
one tier, right? What we're doing is we're fucking around
yeah.
with one tier.
Yeah.
and it's probably Moonstone over
Um, I
Redwing.
don't know.
Moonstone over Redwing, Moonstone over Laufey.
Yeah,
Sorry, Redwing over Laufey.
that's not a
I think Redwing is
question
above Laufey.
because he makes his own archetype.
So because he makes his own archetype, and I put a lot of
Yeah.
value on that. While Moonstone makes archetypes and is irreplaceable, right? Like I would be very surprised if we don't end up in a world where Moonstone continues to get better, and I'd be very surprised if a card we already have, like Patriot or Captain Carter, doesn't just break with Moonstone at some point.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna go Moonstone, Redwing, Laufey, Ares right now, and then at the bottom of
Yeah.
that list is Diamondback because Idiot's decks have been better than Afflict, or at least Diamondback's version of Afflict. If this was a 7-turn game, I think Afflict would be significantly better. right? Like if game had 7 turns or 1 extra energy per turn inflicted would be a lot better. The sheer number of fours and that you need ways to mitigate those fours and that you have to
Mhm.
dedicate so much of your deck to mitigating those fours really does weaken the archetype.
Definitely.
From Laufey, we go to Agamotto, the March Season Pass. Game start, shuffle 4 Ancient Arcana into your deck. He is the introduction of the skills, and I'm going to make a claim before I pass this off that he is one of the best design cards ever in Marvel Snap because he felt completely broken, and he's not. He felt great. He was ridiculously fun, but he's just very good. He's a good card, and now he's like really, really underplayed, I think, too. Toxie?
I feel like at this point, like it's Moonstone, all the cards, and then like the season pass cards that are coming in. The season pass cards are just slowly getting above Moonstone. His design is really good. One thing I tried to rank him already, but one thing he really like his strongest spell is probably like the Images spell, like the copy the highest power
Mm-hmm.
card on that lane. Because what did he do then? Oh, suddenly you had three Galactus on the lane. Suddenly you had three Gwenpools on the deck. Back to that deck. The deck was like always a big part of the meta, but being able to just have like an auto snap with that, dumping like your weaker cards there on and a Gwenpool, then doing the Images thing, elevated that really a lot. He has a great body stats line. You have with the one spell you have card draw with him. Basically, you have like everything you want in those spells. You have like a lot of energy creation. You have the winds thing, which was kind of people didn't have it on the radar as being as good as Winds of Atum was really. But 2 energy -6 is really good. 1 energy draw a card is really good. He's probably up high on this list. I really like that Agamotto.
Yeah, I think this is a card that felt like we were getting a big bad. Like we were getting something that came with fun trinkets and accessories to play around with. He's the action figure you buy that has all the kit along with him. Being able to toss in all of those spells, having that work in an Erisham Loki, not Loki. Actually, no, there was that Loki deck for a while, but the just the weird combo of all game start cards, he brought something really interesting to the game. He felt like one of the first season pass cards that was Thanos level, that gave you something to do along with him. And I think that counts for a lot, even if, yeah, he's kind of hard to play. He doesn't have a lot of the card draw with his base stuff, and you have to be able to pull those cards out. Um, I think that is his biggest weakness, is not being able to get the cards that you need to with him, or you need to play another card like King Eitri to pull one of his cards out, which again still does not pull in another one. And yeah, it's like you've got a separate quest for succeeding with this card. I think the biggest flaws that he's got are the fact that he's a 5'10 and he is just screaming to be shanked. If you play him when he is designed to be played on 5, if you don't get your um ball sack out at the right time, you kind of you've got him out there and you're just like, hey, go ahead, kill me. Outside of that, I think he's great. I think he's a very strong card. I don't think he's the best card, but I think he just offers a lot.
Yeah. Because of skills and because of design and because of how we're doing this, he's ranked highly. I think in terms of power, he's probably in the middle of the Moonstone tier,
Mhm.
right? But in terms of importance to the year, importance to the game, I think he ranks fairly high. Um, we'll discuss exactly how high in a minute. I- My big problem with him, I think that actually hurts him, is in his decks, he's the last card I want to play. Like
Mm.
literally, very often the single last card I would actually like to play in his decks. His advent is also the rise of the good stuff pile. Like he really really kicked off the good stuff pile being good, and like we ran him as Agamotto decks, and then we were like, wait, why are we running Agamotto? Right? Like that was the progression there. But he's another hidden information card, right? Like he's
Mhm.
yet another hidden information card, a very very powerful one at that. And I think he fundamentally marks a shift in Marvel Snap. Plus, like he remained meta relevant far longer than we thought, thanks to Roram, right? That Irisham deck kept him relevant. As far as where he ranks, like I think he has to still be below Iron Patriot overall. we could argue he's above Iron Patriot in terms of importance. It's close. I think that's I don't think he's likely in terms of importance to the game and the meta game going above. I can see him above like Victoria Hand. So he's got to be above Iron Patriot because if I could see him above Victoria Hand, right? Is he above Victoria Hand because he introduces the skill mechanic?
That's a good point.
Where do we
I
land?
just
Talk.
I guess he should be over Victoria Hand. While Victoria Hand
Then
now has like a rise, he had like for long, as I said, long period of time his time to shine. What I said with the good part stuff, with the Grand Pool Galacta stuff, he probably deserves to be on that spot.
Still below Bullseye though, right? Bullseye gives us multiple archetypes and a ton of decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah. Props to Agamotto though. Like really good design. And whatever the opposite of slops to Isan. Isan is a 6/10. After you churn, put a card from your hand that didn't start in your deck here. I can't believe they have not yet buffed this card. Where's Isan going? Is he's somewhere near the bottom, right? What are our bottom cards? Let us find out. The bottom cards are he's okay, Isan or Joaquin Torres? You
Son.
sure? Joaquin Torres is at least decent. Think about it though. What has Isan ever been in? Joaquin's been in some middling bounce. What is Isan in? Give me a deck.
Isan is good in like he was played in Erisham, plus he's a card that gets way more often played in game modes and different ones than Joaquin gets. I guess from that
mean,
point off, I would have done him higher.
okay, like a nod to high voltage, I guess.
Grand Arena.
High voltage overdrive.
Grand Arena.
God.
Grand Arena. Where we were forced to play him because he was in one of the pre-built decks, but they removed him from it because they realized he was terrible. I don't know. I think I'd have Falcon above it, but I'm fine either way.
I think he goes above Falcon only for the simple fact that I think it's really fun. Like being able to pull a card out of your hand and have, again, you've got that information disparity. What card does my opponent have in their hand that's going to get pulled with Isan? I don't know.
I mean,
It could be
what
a
card am I
complete
shanking
dud.
what card am I shanking when I shank Isan? Yeah, great. Like,
yeah, there is that, but he can bring out, like, if you're playing an Infinity Ultron deck, he can bring stuff out. It's just
sure.
fun.
But 3 of the stones have been terrible forever. And if they were
Yeah.
good, I would have played them. And most of them require 2 board spaces. So like,
Yes,
oh
fair.
boy, like I could play him alone in a lane on the last turn to hope to get an extra card. I think Torres is above Isan, but I will bow to the wisdom of the group. I would just like it noted that I think Torres is better because Torres goes in real decks and Isan is a fucking meme. The first day,
He's a
people were like,
fun meme.
Isan's gonna get nerfed. Isan's gonna get nerfed. I was like, what are you talking about? By the third day, this card was completely unplayed.
So the
I
question
cannot believe they
he
haven't touched this.
significantly better if he's a 6/9 and can't just be immediately shanked?
No. I mean, I think he's better, but I still don't want to play him. If he's like a 5/7, we could talk. I can't spend my turn 6 on him, and I don't want to have to run ramp for middling results because he's random. He's pulling a random card. Just pull the highest cost card from your hand that didn't start in your deck. Maybe we can start talking. Pulling something completely random sucks. It's utter garbage. I can make good stuff happen with Torres. I'm stuck relying on RNG for good stuff to happen with Isa. Card is garbage. You two are wrong. Next. Starbrand. Ugh. Ugh.
What?
Ugh.
You're telling me you don't like the big number card go burr decks? I would never have guessed that. No one ever would know that about you.
I mean, it's okay. Let's like, is it better than Ares? It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3/10 better than 4/12. It's not better than Laufey.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't do anything with him, he is a 3, what? 10?
4.
Yeah. That's not great.
Well, you just don't play him in those games usually.
I guess. But then you're wasting a 3/10. That's a 3/10. But I get it.
But you're not. You're wasting a 3/4. You're wasting playing Cyclops.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything to say about this? 3/10, good if no ability. Bad if 3/4.
I just dislike the Surtur archetypes.
Yeah, look, it's good with Surtur. It's good with Sauron, and it's good with Nightmare. There. Anything else to add?
No.
Oh, you could zero it, but that's Sauron decks.
Yeah.
I really, really like the idea that Zen had of running with your zero, you run Misery. right? Like, and you can Misery the 0 and then hit like Typhoid or Starbrand. That's a valuable
Mhm.
play.
That's
It's
totally
like
a
about
Zen invention too.
yeah, it works really well. Because I had thought of like how can I um double 0, but I thought the 0 would 0 the Misery because Misery is not
Mm.
done resolving fully. So I just never explored further. I don't know. Fuck this card. Do we have to talk about Starbrand? Let's go.
No, no.
All right. All right. The card that launched 1,000 wrong takes. Firehair is a 2/3. When one of your cards is destroyed, this uses that card's on reveal. My immediate take before I toss it to Toxie is Firehair is really fucking good right now. Go ahead, Toxie.
She deserves at least a high place in this tier list because she is probably one of the cards that make hand buff good. Like hand buff was like a thing, but she helped out to make it even better because you can play your Gwenpool stuff, you can misery that, but with a Firehair you have like 3 times those unreal effects, which is like a lot of impact. I played those decks of Firehair. It wasn't like anything. It wasn't a rare occasion that I had like 210 Mr. Sinisters running around, which is actually a 220 then. She's really good. She found herself in Phoenix Forces, in hand buff stuff. Okay, Phoenix Force in hand buff, but usually in Phoenix Force as well. Um, Even like stuff like Code and Demon, getting 2/1/6 demons, she proved herself to be good, especially like on curve with like maybe already one destroy card. She could be a snap condition. On her release, she wasn't as strong, but we had to figure out how to play her the best, and now she's really, really freaking good, especially now with Kid Omega 2, but we come to him too.
I mean, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Well,
I have a Phoenix Force
I
thought.
yeah, no, you're right with the Phoenix Force thought. I think this is an exceptional card. There are some really, really good decks that can work really, really well with her that are not the most difficult. In order to be really good, I do agree that you need to have a decent amount of skill to know when and how to play her. But I'm sorry, I can't knock anything that can give you a sneaky Galactus play by just doing things correctly. That is just too cool, and that alone sets this one, I think, above a lot of the rest. She didn't hit the crazy insanity that I think everyone was assuming that she was going to. I remember everybody talking about how she was the brokenest card out there. And she came out and she was a good card, but she wasn't just the kind of card that you could just play in a deck and just run with. You had to be smart about where and how to play her and when to utilize her ability.
Sneeze. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay. Apparently that's stuck saying I have to sneeze. Ruin my sneeze. That's fun. That's gonna live in my nose for a few minutes.
Love it.
So got better immediately when we got Elixir, got better immediately when we got Kid Omega. And Elixir fundamentally is used right now as second Phoenix Force in a lot of jet decks, right? Like it's your backup Phoenix Force. And we're about to get another backup Phoenix Force, at least for Sage and Cassandra Nova, which are two of the better cards for it, coming in August. What card that is, don't ask. It's one of the Heralds. And does anyone happen to know? No? One of the Heralds is 4/6, bring back a 3
Mm.
that you destroyed. So what you do is you play Firehair, whatever, and then late in the game you could always just bring back a Sage or you can bring back a Cassandra Nova. That's a lot of the times what you're doing with Elixir. That's a lot of the times what you're doing with Phoenix Force. Having an extra way to do that, get that extra on reveal trigger, get that extra ability is really powerful. All that obviously works with Firehair because Firehair is likewise extra on reveals. It also has a reasonable chance at working with some hand buffy stuff, but the hand buffy stuff is more likely to work with the 3/4 that when it's destroyed gets you a 4 drop. That's another way to get Phoenix Force or that 4/6. Although obviously you risk bringing back the card that you just destroyed for it. All of which works really well with Firehair. I think Firehair is really good. I think Firehair is going to continue to be really good, and it's going to be continue to be really good in some weird off meta shit. Um, Also, I think a lot of the reason we were wrong about Firehair is not on the community. They nerfed immediately before Firehair came out. They nerfed Yondu to be banish,
Mm. Hmm.
and a lot of what made Firehair good was Mill, and then the nerf to Yondu fundamentally removed Mill from the game. So like the wrong take was wrong, don't right, but like it was also not exactly. It wasn't wrong in ways that we could predict. Second dinner was like, no, we don't want that to be that good. The question is, how high does this go? Does this go above Redwing? Because it's above Laufey, right? Like, are we? Do we agree it's above Laufey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would
So is it
almost
above
say
Redwing? Because I think it's right on par.
I would almost say it. If you talk about now, maybe not, but with the upcoming cards and with all the potential, I would say she would deserve to be higher than Redwing. Like you named it too, with the
Yeah.
I
Herald
think it's
card,
close.
and
I think it's close. I think it's just really close.
I mean Jet hit top 10 with
Like, so
It is,
she
but I
should
Firehair.
think
she should also be really good right now because Firehair likes Killmonger, right?
mhm.
And Killmonger likes being the best card in the meta right now. Because 20 power sunspots are really annoying. And so is plus, what is it, +4 Marvel Boys on the last turn. So, like, I don't know. I think that, yeah, all right, I'm fine going above the bird. Is it above Moonstone? Probably not if we had to have that long to discuss above bird.
Probably not.
No?
Yeah, I think she's close, but I think it's the margin is thin enough, but I think Moonstone has more potential.
Khonshu. I'm not reading the whole Khonshu, but he's a 6/5. When you discard him, you play him. When you play him after discarding, well, when you play him, he brings back a discarded card at his power, and as you discard him, he gets more and more powerful. He has found a home in discard. Like, unfortunately, it's just Apocalypse discard, and I'm still not convinced that's the best version. But he's found a home. Toxie.
If we just think about how high Bullseye switched them at a game, he he can has his moments like if you Moloch and you discard like your Dracula and you revive Dracula with Khonshu, you can do some funny things, but he can't bring out as much power needed to beat like the other high power cards. He is too
Hmm.
weak to beat like the move decks, to beat like the Vic decks. He's just like he's funny, but he doesn't have enough supporting cast around him to be good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I want this card to be good. It was something that was really exciting to have in the discard archetype to just add something different. But for the most part, I don't know if I want to play him when I'm playing discard. I don't know if he provides me what I most want to have. So I find he is the deck that gets chosen the least, but still can win. Like it can still put out some crazy amount of power. Being able to play a 6/12 on turn 5 with Corvus and bring back even a Colleen Wing at a different lane at 12 power is huge, but it's also easy to completely destroy him and make him not be brought back. Um, I don't know. He's good but not great. I don't think he holds the same. He definitely isn't above Firehair in my opinion.
He's not even in the same fucking land as Firehair. Like, I'm not talking about putting him at the top of that tier. I'm talking about putting him at the bottom of that tier. Like, I don't. Is he better than Starbrand? Probably fucking not. He's not better than Laufey.
He's better than
Am I
Eason
crazy here?
more
What?
or less. Like that's what I
Sure.
feel.
Is he
Yeah.
better than Ares? I don't think he's better than Ares.
Well,
Ares
I guess
Ares goes in
Ares is
every one of his decks and is replaceable, and you don't need Khonshu for shit.
I mean Contra makes the Apocalypse decks better. Like
Does
you
he? Are
don't
we sure? Or how sure are you that those are better versions than the other
I'm
versions?
I'm pretty sure people who play Apocalypse always put in Contra. I don't see decks without him.
I'm not.
Because
Okay.
if you drag on 4, you keep the Apocalypse and you go on the Contra lane. So you don't have to play your 6-drop and make your Dracula useless. I guess he is really needed for that archetype, or for that deck at least.
I don't agree in any way, shape, or form, but I'm fine putting him
Yeah.
above or below Ares. He's better than Diamondback.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, above or below Ares for Khonshu?
you know what? I'm gonna say above just to be a contrarian jerk. So let's say above.
I mean, you're agreeing with someone no matter what, so you're not being a
Yeah.
contrarian. You're literally just choosing who to agree with. But okay,
Fine.
We
yeah,
just
fine.
want to make
So
sure
now
you're free
Ares
and
and
zero.
all right, have fun. Next up, we are on Captain Carter, who released utterly terribly as a 4/3 ongoing. This card's power to your back row cards here, can't add to itself, and now is a 3/2 of the same ability, and now it goes in Surf for an ongoing, and before it went in the garbage. Carter, the worst season pass card this year? Question mark.
Did she
Yeah,
get
right.
buffed? Did she get buffed while the season pass was there, or did she get buffed after the season
Yes.
pass?
Yes, toward the end of the season. Yes, but even with the buff, I think she's the worst season pass card. Like, I don't think she, or at least the least important. She's not better than Agamotto in terms of importance. Like, in terms of card in game, I don't have her above Moonstone. I think Moonstone does more.
Isn't she making Surfer really good now, though? Like, she's
She
really
is, I
scary.
think.
I think Surfer has been a little left behind by the power output of other decks, even with her.
That's crazy to say that,
She
because
also.
I still face like 60% surfers on ladder right now.
Are you really? I'm not seeing any Surfer in America.
You
No
just see
Surfer in
Cerebro over
America.
there. That's the funny thing. People tell me you play against Cerebro, and
Yeah.
I always just get surfer players.
I get Cerebro once in a while. I do get a
Mhm.
lot of Cerebro. Cerebro 2 weirdly more than anything else though. Not even Bro 3.
Yes. Well, how is Cerebro 2 such a? I mean, Cerebro 2 always had the massive potential, but
They
holy
buffed
crap! Now,
They buffed
yeah, I
Cerebro.
know. It's
like
just
that's like where did Cerebro come from? Well, they buffed it. So
no.
like,
They did buff it. Agreed. That maybe a little bit too much, but that's the discussion for another day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Two is
I
just
think this
super fun to
card
love
started
now.
out terribly. Yeah, I mean, she's a season pass card, and for a season pass card, I think she, outside of another one that we will be talking about soon, were really at the bottom of the barrel as far as quality goes of their season passes that have really switched. She is one that has found a much bigger place now after she was adjusted. And I think she's at the very least, even if you're just going by stats, I think she is at least as strong, if not a little bit stronger, because she's a bit more accessible than a card like Moonstone. I think you can throw Carter into a deck with lower series cards, and I think you got a good stew. Whereas Moonstone, I think, requires a little bit more skill.
I don't know. Does Moonstone require skill? Play Victoria Hand, play Moonstone in lane, right? Like, it's not exactly a skill. Like Carter, put in lane, put cards behind. I think the skill with Carter is not getting shonged in the face, right?
Mm,
Like that's a reasonably high skill. But like sometimes you don't have a choice. You just have to really try to throw prio because a lot of the times, like if you get Carter to 4, a lot of the times like you're getting things that are in shong range, and that's hard to win with. Or like
mhm.
and like God, does Shadow King wreck the face off this card? Shadow King and Afflict. Like if you're running Swamp Thing, Man Thing, and they play a Carter, you play Man Thing in that lane right away, real fast, as fast as you can.
Or
It's
Cyclops
just
if you're playing an afflict something deck
mhm.
just to decrease the power of this card. But
Yeah, I really like Carter, but like I don't even know if she's above Firehair.
She's
Like
above
she's one
Aries,
card.
though, right?
I mean, well above Aries. We're so all right. Where we are, this is the range I think she's in. So we have, I think, a little break between Laufey and Redwing because Redwing makes his own archetype. So she's somewhere in the Redwing, Firehair, Moonstone range, and that's the order we have them in. Redwing is worst, Moonstone is best. Remember, it's not about power level; it's also about
yeah,
impact on the game. And she helped bring Surfer back, but it's not like Surfer wasn't a fucking meta deck sitting there anyway.
no, very true.
But wasn't she like
Strong,
for
but
like
not overpowered.
wasn't she like for a short amount of reason one reason we cut Shaw out of the surfer decks because we had Carter, and just having
Toxie's
Carter
gone.
on one. Am I?
So you cut off her thing, but I think what you said is isn't she the reason we cut Shaw?
Yeah.
The American server wasn't playing Shaw at all for like 2 months before Carter came out. They were running like Sage and shit, weird shit, but like they weren't running Shaw. And now we have First Steps Torch, so we don't even need her as much that way. I don't know. I'm not again. She's not bad. Like this is a fairly top tier, right? This is the tier above the stuff that completely shifted the game. Like all the top shit. The top things being just as a quick catch up. Sam at 1, Bullseye, Agamotto, Victoria Hand, Iron Patriot is the top tier. All of those cards completely changed the game. Then we have Moonstone, Firehair, Redwing, which are like to me, like cards that were really good but didn't quite change the game, or cards that really created new things. And I think Carter's somewhere in that range. I don't know where. You think she's above Moonstone?
With my experience, what I
Like
faced right
Carter,
now, I would say she's
but
under
it's not about
Moonstone, but
what's more powerful or right now.
I mean, she had more impact on the matter for me personally. So I would put her under Moonstone, but on the second place on that tier level because she's higher than Redwing.
Okay. I mean, is she and she's above fire here for you?
We had Carter with Thanos ongoing stuff. She was good with the ongoing archetypes, but per se, she was good in Surfer, which makes her good for two archetypes, which is better than Firehair if we go for that perspective.
Fire hair is good in two archetypes, just neither one is quite as good as Surfer.
So I would say Carter higher than Firehair then.
Okay, that's fair. All right, next card is going to be a contentious one. It is Goliath, who is really, 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 really good in exactly one archetype. And now that archetype doesn't exist, and when's the last time you saw Goliath outside of Grand Arena?
Mm, I, funny enough, I faced the last 2 weeks. I faced a bunch of Thanos ongoing decks. I don't know where they're coming from though, but
Yeah,
he,
but it's
he
not good anymore, right? Like
I
Killmonger is one of the best cards, and I'm just like, okay,
uh,
thanks.
the thing about him was he had the best time because not he was strong, but because Sam was there, and with Sam he was already a two
Hmm.
three that could scale. And I would always say like at 2-5, I would say like 2-5 is like the more than 2-5 or like 5 power for 2 drop is like the good power level. Everything more than 5 power for 2 drop is like okay, that's probably dangerous for the game or like really top notch. And with Sam and stuff, he was way above that. He had his momentum with Thanos
Oop,
ongoing, like
you're
from
freezing
the
again,
year.
Toxie.
I shouldn't talk that much, I guess then.
All right.
Um,
Well, Toxie, we can't hear you. He can't see it.
Now, it's loading.
Now, better. The word now was better. You're still a
Okay,
little freezy.
weird.
All right, go try again.
Over the year, I would say he was fine, but not as good as other ones.
Try turning off your camera. Let's see if that helps.
Mm,
S- It often helps for
okay,
uploading and stuff, so I assume it helps here. S- Yeah, it's suddenly really good. All right, so yeah,
okay.
I don't know. I think it's somewhere around probably better than Starbrand and Laufey, worse than Redwing, because Thanos ongoing was a deck, and he was so important in that deck. Like, what was better this year, Thanos or Sur? I would say Thanos, and so what was better this year, Thanos or Afflict? Thanos, and I think Goliath was a really, really important part of those Thanos decks.
I mean, yeah, the
It's
gauntlet
kind of where I
alone showed
land.
it to us. So, fair call.
Yeah, yeah, good card. Well, again, if ongoing's ever good, it'll come back. But for the time being, not important. Just good in one deck. He's like that. He was made for one deck. He's good in that one deck.
Yeah.
My baby, Kahori, 4/6. On reveal, each card in your hand gives one of your cards in play plus one power.
Yours and Derek's baby. Like, Derek is probably one of the few you
Card?
people that really believes in
Yeah,
Kahori.
it's a good card. It's hard to
Sh-
play because like if
Yeah.
you often want to play it on the last turn and it's unpredictable, so that makes it really hard to play. But like it's still really good. It's almost always a 4, 10, 11.
Mm,
Hmm.
the good thing, like, people always compared her when she came out to Gwenpool and said, like, she buffs the board, so you see, like, the outcome, while Gwenpool is, like, more information denial. I guess the thing that makes her the weakest is she's not fitting to the second dinner scheme of this year. She's like puts out the
Hmm.
power on board and stuff, and that's not that what works out right now. So sadly, because of her nature, I would say she's going way down in our board. Like she's probably worse than a Starbrand, I would say.
I mean, where does
If
she land re Khonshu and Ares? Is she better than either of those? Probably not, right?
I saw more Ares than Kahori, so Ares had more impact on the meta than Kahori had. So I
Hmm.
would say she's under Ares, sadly.
Okay, is she
Yeah.
above Diamondback?
Hmm.
Yes. I mean, we saw more Diamondback again, but on that side, she's probably
Yeah.
more impactful. That's like the hard thing about those lists.
Hmm.
She had like probably zero impact on the meta. She has potential, but her impact this year was not really anything.
So this looks like below Diamondback to me. And then we gotta
Yeah.
have to compare it to Gorgon. which I think is a fair comparison. I think Gorgon had more impact.
I do
Yeah,
too.
she's
I
on.
think Gorgon just it did more to decks than Kahori did.
She goes
Okay.
down, down,
And
down.
then she's now ready. She's worse than Uncle Ben by the same
Yep.
logic.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is better than Thunderbolt Ross. Ross had one deck, but Ross's one deck didn't ever care about Ross. The same time they released Ross, they buffed Adam Warlock, and I've never been sold that Ross is actually better than Adam Warlock in anything.
But what did Kahori had?
Yeah.
Moon Girl, Moon, what's his name?
Uh-huh.
Moon Girl, Victoria Hand decks were good with her.
But
Is
maybe
she
like
the
for a few
card?
days.
What would you pick to put in to remove to put her in that deck? I think that's the thing. Is she's probably that's their best home, but I don't know if she
Sure,
is the
sure.
card you're
Well,
gonna pick.
look? I agree, but
Yeah.
Ross has Adam Warlock. That's just every bit as good,
Yep.
if not better.
Yeah.
Kahori
No,
was
I
decent with
don't
Merlin.
disagree.
Yeah,
She's better. I am 100% on board that
I hit
she is
Infinite
better
with
than
Kahori
Adam Warlock.
this year. I don't know if I hit Infinite with
Hmm.
Ross, but I hit it with Kahori, and she was actually important. All right, whatever. Kahori is boring. Let's go.
Yeah.
Kahori will have a day. Like one day, Shadow King and Shang will be nerfed out of the meta, and I'm gonna live by going Sebastian Shaw into Kahori and sitting there with my 20 power Shaws. Wait for it. Yeah,
Have
World by
fun.
Night Kate stuff does like Kahori. That's a good point. All right, Infinity Ultron, who released as a 5/6, had 2 Infinity Stones to your hand, and the stones were terrible. Then became a 5/8, and then went back to a 5/6 with better stones. Um, this one's gonna have to rank reasonably highly for impact, but this card has been all over the fucking place. Toxie, go.
I love Infinite Ultron. Like I would say S tier or like highest of the highest, but it's just there. The stones are good now. Like with Quinjet, you have 1-drop stones who can do stuff, but basically you're just happy about 3 stones. The other ones are like, yeah, cool. So I can buff them with Victoria Hand. Otherwise, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like you're happy about the red stone. You're amazingly happy about the
Mm.
purple stone, and even the yellow stone has potential. But anything after the yellow stone is just like, okay, cool. Like blue stone is like nothing. Orange stone is nothing. So why would you really think about that? But I guess with Victoria Hand, he had his moments to shine, or he is probably still like a decent card. I see Infinite Ultimate fairly often. So I would make a cut that he's probably in somewhere in the middle of our tiers.
Nick?
I want this card to be better than it is, and I think it is held back by the stones that come with it and the unpredictability of them, and the fact that you're never going to be in a situation to where you're going to want to get more of them usually. You're not going to be playing this guy on a lane that gets like if you have Wong in a deck for whatever reason, you're not going to be playing him on that. You're not going to grandmaster him. So you get 2 stones, and whatever you get, that's all you get. And if they suck, well, then now he sucks. Now your opponent doesn't know that. Your opponent has no way of knowing that. But again, this is a card that I think has potential. A few adjustments, and I think it could be an exceptionally good card. And I think he has the potential of being a really good card. I just don't think he's there right now. I don't know. Trying to think about where to put him, but you say your thing, and I'll figure out where. If
Like a
it's
third of his hits suck, right?
mm,
A third of his hits suck. 1 out of seven sucks for Nico. 0 out of 4 suck for Kate. I guess 1 out of 4 you can argue that's 25%, right? And like, but the others are like crazy good and cheaper. Merlin's basically all good hits. Like all the other versions of this card are cheaper and don't have bad hits.
mm.
He's expensive and has multiple bad hits. That's a terrible combo. You either need to make him cheaper or you need to get rid of the bad hits. It's just that simple. However, in terms of like importance to the metagame this year, I think he's like way outsized. Like in terms of like power, he's like D tier, but in terms of like impact, I have him up somewhere up around Moonstone and Carter. Like he's a card that because he was so interesting, people tried out a lot. People played a lot. He was in and out of decks that were kind of bad, but like he had some homes with Moonstone. He had that weird non-Moonstone, like the weird surfer thing that Rora made for a little while. The surfer Victoria Hand list. Moonstone's what I meant. Victoria Hand's what I meant, not Moonstone. Excuse me. But like he's had things to do. The home of a million copium cooks. He's probably around Firehair, except Firehair is better because like they're the copium cooks guys. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Although
Yeah.
I'm a big Ultron fan, I would have maybe said he's a bit weaker than Redwing because he didn't do his own archetype, but we can go for Firehair levels.
Okay. You put it below Redwing. I'm fine with that. And then above Goliath because people. I mean, is he above Goliath? Probably, but like it's so hard to separate power level from impact. I think he was more impactful. Like it's hard to
Mhm.
separate Goliath's impact from Sam's impact, right? A lot of Goliath's impact is really just Sam's impact and then card good with Sam. And Ultron's
Goliath is a
impact
small
is
card that can just kind of sit somewhere and do its thing, and you don't have to think about it. You just play your cards, and it does its stuff.
Yeah.
Versus this requires a full setup and a full organization of it.
I would go higher than
yeah, I don't
Goliath
know.
because he fits to the scheme of this year. You have 2 stones and they're
Okay.
scary. You boomer snap, your opponent sometimes runs because he's scared about the pebble stone. So yeah.
I, I like that logic. I like that logic. He really needs some work though. What a weird card. All right, the
Mhm.
worst card of the year so far is Toxie, who released as a 2/1. I could not find that image because apparently we never copied Toxie on the podcast proper. You know why we didn't? Because she was supposed to release as Dum Dum Dugan, and it was a
Right.
random shock to everyone in the game that it was Toxie. She is a 2/1 on release now, a 2/3 on reveal. You have 2 characters in your hand plus 2 power. You can't play them next turn. She is one of the worst cards in Marvel Snap, in my opinion. Period, bar none.
Yeah. Because like
Like she's worse than Torres, and that's our bottom card.
sadly, because like usually you want to double on reveals, but what do you double? Then you do like Wong and Toxin. That's like too slow and too weird. And
Hmm.
yeah, sadly
You can't
she won't.
grandmaster it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, sadly she will be down.
I this is one of those cards that I think everybody saw and was like, yeah, this is going to be a terrible card. And she came out and everybody was like, yeah, it's going to be a terrible card. I think she's one of those cards that I don't even know if there's full detailed stats because I think so few people are playing her. Is she the mantis of series? Wait, was she was a series 4, wasn't she? Or did she
Yeah,
come out as a series
she's series
5?
4. Sorry.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is just me. This is just me making random
Yes.
copies of things and throwing it together. Because again, we never covered her on the podcast.
Right. I think she is a nothing of a card. The fact that she exists, sure, but why? She serves no point, no purpose.
She could be like, if there's serious drop, she can just immediately go to series 3. She's just like a free
Well,
serious drop card.
she honest to God does not need the "you can't play them next turn" text. Like she's not broken without it. She's really good without it, but she's not broken without it. I
Yeah,
don't care about her.
I just looked at her.
Oop, Nick, you're gone. Nick muted
Oh, I
himself.
don't know what happened. Hold on.
Oh, you're here. We can hear you again.
Oh, okay. I can hear myself, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think I hit the wrong button. There we go.
Sucker.
Anyway,
You
yeah,
deal with your voice too.
looking at her percentage of shares and the whole 9 yards, like she has literally no data, not enough data to do anything with. That's how little she's been played.
I'm writing in chat quickly. Isan is still worse than Torres. You two are wrong. All right, we're actually going to read through the list again quickly, as an update before we get to the last little bit. Although Isan is still worse than Torres. Maybe I'll type. Maybe we'll do that after Strange, since we just hit ads in the live version of this. So remind
Fair.
me that when ads end, I should do that. Our next card
Yes,
is
sir.
Strange Supreme, who's a 2/2, gains +2 power for merging, and for merge one of your creator cards into this. He's now a 2/1.
Yeah.
They made him a 2/1, right? Yeah. Completely fucking broken in Thanos and utterly, and like he had some other homes, but when he became a 2/1, all of those disappeared. He's gonna have to go high because he was ridiculously meta impactful, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where? How high? Like
Do you want
Victoria
to?
Hand high?
Do you want to say again like the tier list, like till Moonstone?
He's way higher than Moonstone, I think.
Yeah, I mean just like top till Moonstone.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
you want me to go from the bottom up to the top? All right, sure. So our worst card so far is Toxie, because
Mhm.
Toxie is completely unplayable.
Mhm.
Uh, a card who should be at least 1 card, but probably 2 cards up, is Joaquin Torres Falcon, who released at an abysmal stat line of 3/4, but at least is in some weird bounce list. Then we've got Isan, who people thought should be nerfed after 1 day, and people were wrong. Thaddeus Ross, who, thank God, had his deck nerfed out from under him immediately before he released, and then only found a mild home in Hela. From there, Kahori, whose randomness and face-up nature both count against her. From there, we go to the great Unca Ben, who is at least in Fudge version of Scream. Gorgon, who had a meta moment when Thanos was very good, and then Thanos got too good and started running Mobius. Diamondback, as we're now like up a tier into like just the strictly good cards. We are up to Diamondback, who is a good card, but because you want to make all your fours cost 3, a card you often skip out on playing in her deck. From there, Ares, who again is really good, but just, his downside is bad enough to keep him lower. Conchu, who is now only found specifically in um, Apocalypse Discard, and Apocalypse Discard isn't meta and hasn't been. Starbrand, who has some more homes, a card that is hard to use, but has at least had homes in both Surtur and Nightmare. All three of Surtur and Nightmare and Sauron decks, although Sauron decks are often Nightmare decks. All Nightmare decks are Sauron decks. All Sauron decks are not Nightmare decks. So Starbrand has a home in both of those. Laufey, because two different Afflict decks exist largely on his back, but Man Thing
Mhm.
is still a reasonable replacement in most decks. Infinity Ultron, who is the Cope card, he literally ranks as hard because his effect on the meta was so Cope like. Goliath, because ongoing Thanos was great, although it is fundamentally impossible to separate his impact on that archetype from Sam Wilson. If you didn't have Goliath, you were probably fine. Sam was more pivotal. From there, Redwing, who created a new archetype, and we're giving a lot of credit to cards that let us play the game in a different way, rather than cards like Goliath, who just go in a good deck. Infinity Ultron lets us play the game in a new way, but it's bad. Redwing lets us play the game in a new way, but it's good. Firehair, who's been both bad and good, but just through sheer hype, ended up more impactful in the metagame. Captain Carter, our worst season pass card thus far, although that's about to change very quickly thereafter, who released as fairly unplayable but ended up actually quite good. Largely good though in Surfer. She ended up being mostly forgettable in ongoing decks. Not forgettable in ongoing or Victoria Hand or Patriot or many other decks, or the sort of Iron Man Mystique decks is Moonstone, who ended up quite good at a 4/6. She is the top of our almost there tier. Moonstone, a card that will continue to age exceedingly well. Moonstone, Carter, and Firehair are cards that just keep aging well. The top of our bottom tier is Iron Patriot, who dominated sort of the first quarter, but has not really been relevant since. He set up our two big themes for the year, which are the unpredictable nature of power output. Prior to this year in Marvel Snap, you would look it up on second, you would just know their range. Iron Patriot kicks off the theme that we don't know that. The other theme that was really important for at least for basically the whole year, but it's changed in how it was important, is the first half of the year, first chunk of the year, we really wanted priority. We were playing a lot of early priority cards thanks to Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson. And the back half of the year, we really want to throw priority because Tech Soup is the order of the day. From there, we go to Victoria Hand, who I'm not sure should be above Iron Patriot. They're very close. Victoria Hand is having a moment right now, so perhaps recency bias, but she does create an archetype, so bonus points for that. Agamotto introduces skills, so has to be high. Also, was the first card they released the season pass that felt like a big bad. Just more than goodness, he's here because of importance and impact. From there, we go to Bullseye, who launched at least 4 or 5 different decks in addition to his own archetype, which is just wild to think about. Bullseye, again, like not just having the dedicated Bullseye deck, but having a Surfer deck, having a Cerebro 3 deck, having a current end of turn deck that all run Bullseye is a lot of real serious power for this card. Sam Wilson is number one on the list right now, and I'm going to guess going to end up number one, though I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. Sam Wilson, basically changed the game and was the best card and found like so there's a lot of synergy cards in Marvel Snap, but Sam was a synergy card for what felt like every single deck in the game, which is just unheard of. And now we're on to talking about Strange Supreme, who I think thanks to the power of Thanos has to rank reasonably high. See you here? You are muted if so.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Um,
Okay, good. Where are we
yeah.
putting Strange
So
after that whole
I would
breakdown?
I would probably say like we will make the argument that Strange will
Mm,
fight with the Bullseye slot from what I have seen, because
ooh, you think that high?
because we can say like Bullseye made like a lot of archetypes for himself, but Strange was solely the reason Thanos needed another rework and change. Plus, not only that, he needed to get changed and nerfed by himself again. So while Bullseye made like a now top archetype, he was Strange made like two big cards getting nerfed, him and another one. And when Strange got released, like when Bullseye got released, people played this card and stuff. But when Strange got released, everybody was playing Thanos. Like I feel like my daily dose of Snap was like I face 50 to 60% Thanos players everywhere. The Gauntlet experience, the first one, where we just had like, oh yeah, he plays Thanos with Supreme, he plays Thanos with Supreme, and it was just like, it was a hard time. So I feel like these two are fighting for the slots right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. This card had a massive impact. Everybody played him. Everybody did really well with him, and it felt almost like back in the days of when you're playing a Shuri mirror. It's like, okay, who pulled Shuri? Did I pull Shuri? Okay, cool, I win. Did they pull Shuri? Oh crap, I lose. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you didn't have a counter to this, if you didn't have a Shadow King, and for a long time people weren't running them, like it just was it. And like Spaces said, in Clog, this guy just would be better in some ways than Destroy for Clog, because it didn't matter if there was a Cosmo blocking you, he would just vacuum up every piece of crap that was there. Now, was it unpredictable? Sure. Did he lose you some games by sometimes taking the card that you needed in that lane in order to win? Absolutely, he did. But yeah,
Oh
he
no.
was crazy big, crazy powerful, and I think still has some potential.
My internet hiccuped, and I don't know if we're live on Twitch right now.
Yes, we still are.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad. That was a very. It was just like make sure your internet connection is stable. Oh, all right. And now we are re-recording here. Good, good, good. All right, that was fun. Yeah, something happened and my whole internet hiccuped. Life
Thank God
in
it's not
Vietnam,
only me.
friends. Yeah. Yeah. Well, All right. Good. I'm glad. Okay. So I'm going to argue that this is below Bullseye for two reasons. One, long-term impact. Right. This one had an extreme short-term impact, but it didn't last. Two, it came out in April. It is now August. That's 4 months. Bullseye came out in January. I think 7 months of Bullseye, along with extra archetypes and longer impact, put it above Strange Supreme. I'm fine with it in third. I think third makes sense, but I don't think it's above Bullseye.
I mean, fair call with the second point. I only have to say, um, longevity only because he got nerfed. Like they nerfed him and Thanos, or had to rework them too, so he's not getting played as much. While Bullseye
Fair.
got like -1 power.
I mean, so did
Yeah.
Strange. Strange's nerf was -1 power.
Yeah, but they had to rework a whole big badge for him.
Yeah, well, Thanos needed a rework anyway, but that's fair.
But
Like, I
yeah,
think
I
ongoing
think
Thanos was going to lead to that nerf.
had Thanos kept going and not had the changes that it did, I think Strange Supreme would still be a
Hmm.
hugely dominant card.
So are we okay with it? Before or after Bullseye, what's the final vote?
I'll go after. So we
Yeah.
are all in the same boat.
Okay.
And I think that's fair because Bullseye has still some level of stranglehold on where he
I mean,
sits.
it's rank 3 right now. Bullseye isn't rank
Mhm.
3.
Yeah.
Hydra Stomper. 3/2, ongoing +1 power for each card you move this game. I'm not gonna say anything about where it ranks because I don't actually know yet, but I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards released this year. Really, really good design. Doesn't fit any of the themes of the year, but really good design.
Mm,
What we got for him?
I really like him because he revived like an old archetype we haven't seen in a
Hmm.
while.
Silky smooth.
Silky Smooth Air. He and Silk went like hand in hand. Plus, he was the reason people figured out Craven is actually a strong two
Hmm.
drop. Like before him, it was like, yeah, Craven can do stuff. But now with him, we were actually like, okay, him, Craven, that's serious power output. We should be scared about that. Plus, he made Scream not only an afflict archetype, but overall just a really solid and good archetype. And probably he isn't the most important card in Scream. Like sometimes there are games you never play him out, but only with the highlight of him, he is, my opinion, probably higher than Redwing.
Yeah, that's almost exactly where I had him. Nick.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of those sneaky cards. It's great that he's ongoing. You can just keep him in your hand. He's not a terribly expensive card. And you can, on the final turn of the game, you could potentially buff him and your Craven just by playing him with Silk and moving her around. Really strong card, very slept on. I still don't think a lot of people are playing it. Yeah, I'm in agreement is where I put him. He's just great.
He also came out with 3 other cards the same day, right? Like, that he came out and literally the same day he came out, we also got, like, the next 3 cards we're gonna talk about hurt how much people talked about him and how much attention people paid to him in a real way, that I think
Mhm.
lowered his impact a little bit. Like, so everyone thought Redwing was gonna be bad, and that lowered Redwing's impact, right? Because a lot of people didn't buy him, and that was still when we had spotlights. Hydra Stomper was, I think the last spotlight card, right? Like, but you had to specifically not update for him, and then 3 other cards came out that day as we moved to the Snap Pack system, and, like, for those 2 reasons, I think he'd ended up a little underrated, but I'm fine with it. I think, like, he and Redwing are fairly close. Probably higher than either, though, is Batrock Zelepel. Batrock is 1/2 when a card moves, follow it to gain 2 power once per turn. Um, if you play Sam, this is a 110 or so.
Mhm.
I think Batrock is reasonably high. Where do you land?
Yeah, like he is probably, if I'm not completely wrong, probably the last really strong power-wise one drop we had in the game, or we had for ourselves. He can, like, he was out for like 2 weeks, and I remember we already cried for like a nerf for him because he was as strong as he was. So impact-wise, he was huge. He had big impact, and I would probably put him higher than Stomper, as you said. And then the question is like, what was the next card after Stomper?
Oh, let me find out because I'd have to actually scroll. Firehair. Probably not above Firehair, right?
Yeah.
I think better than
So
Firehair for most of the air, but not more impactful.
Yeah.
yeah. So under fire.
Oh, that was easy. Nick?
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, he dies to Killmonger, but are you running into Killmonger? If not, then you can move him around and you can't really be prepared for where he's going to move. He has that kind of werewolf unpredictability.
Yeah. Great card.
Mhm.
Like, everything I said about Stomper, same archetype, same stuff. Doesn't really do anything that Stomper doesn't. They go in the same deck. I think Batrock's probably a little more important in that deck than Stomper
Plus
because it's a 1.
he gets lifted by Sam, like
Yeah.
every
Mhm.
turn move.
Synergy from Sam. Who would have thought synergy from Sam Wilson?
Never could have expected that.
Like, we should go through at the end and just be like, this has synergy with Sam, this has synergy with Sam, this has synergy with Sam, this has
Hmm.
synergy with Sam. Like, and it'll be like 90% of the cards. And if the card doesn't, like, it feels like Ares doesn't have synergy with Sam, except Ares made Cull Obsidian better, which has synergy with Sam.
I
Right?
mean, you're
Like,
not wrong. What, 2 degrees of Sam Wilson?
next up, Topaz, who is a 3/4. After you play a card here, move it to middle location. Topaz is really fucking good, but had almost no impact.
Yeah, like my scrims against Sizer showed me how much potential Topaz has, and that she's a really good card.
Hmm.
Bad thing is like move is not an archetype everyday players or like casual players play, so she won't be like a high up card on the impact wise. But for good players, she's really strong. But I guess with her hard nature to play, plus she's like another move addition and not like, oh, that card is like Madame Web or Aranya Nivell, I would probably say she's under Redwing.
Oh, I think she's way under Redwing. I think she's more like Diamondback level.
Okay, fair.
Like,
Yeah, I think if
you
you're
don't
going to
need
play a
you
move
don't need her
card,
to play move, right?
yeah.
But Craven and Topaz is crazy power output. But yeah.
That's fair.
Impact
Yes,
impact
but like we're
impact
not.
wise, yeah.
Yeah, impact, right? Like, power, sure. Power, I think she's near the top. And when we do like that kind of tier list, she ends up reasonably high. But like in terms of like impact on the metagame and what she's done to things, she's not more played than like, is she more above Gorgon or Uncle Ben? Maybe,
Yes.
maybe, right? But like not. I think she's about at Diamondback's level. I have her below Diamondback, but I think there's similar power.
No.
Well, she's definitely less of an impact. I mean, I can guarantee you, everybody has seen less Topaz than they have Diamondback, and I think that speaks to what Toxie was
Hmm.
saying with the difficulty. of playing Move. It's not just the kind of deck that you can just go, okay, I'm going to play a Move deck today, because it's not an easy deck to succeed with. And I don't think she magically makes it easier. In some ways, she makes it more complicated depending on that middle location, depending on all that other stuff. But I don't think she's even played enough to know. And I think that lack of an impact sets her back on the list. Just that alone.
I'm with it. Good power, really great card. Doesn't see enough play. Boop. Speaking of good power, good card, but this one sees almost no play. Fun Fay. Activate, move your other cards here to the right. In terms of impact, this is somewhere near the bottom, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
it had less impact than Thunderbolt Ross. No,
just
that's
like
not fair. There was that one Eggy deck, right?
the Hulkling move.
Yeah. Like, is that better than is that more impact than Ross or less?
I almost guess less because way more people coped with Ross and Hella at this point.
It's above Isan, though, because fuck Isan.
Yeah. This is a strong card, but my God, there are no stats on it because nobody is playing it. Because it's another one of those cards that, okay, where do I play it? When do I activate it? How do I activate it? There's a lot that goes into it. And I don't think people want to spend that much time thinking about it, which is why I think Move being a complicated archetype to begin with, but not having a ton of cards that go along with it. This didn't help. And the fact that this dropped with a whole bunch of other cards, many which were much easier. Like, if you had to pick one card, you're not going to pick Fanfei over Batroc. If you get Batroc when you roll, you're probably going to be like, okay, cool, that's done. I don't care about Fanfei because Batroc's easy to understand. Fanfei requires a lot more work. I think in the right hand, Fanfei is an amazingly strong, amazingly powerful card. But I think her lack of play and just inconsistency from the player base just means she's just not great right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care about Fun Fay enough to have a whole conversation. She's good, and she's too hard to use. So she doesn't have she doesn't matter. Like Topaz is good and Move is hard to use, but Topaz isn't that hard to use. Fun Fay is fucking hard. It's a really, really complicated card to play. Between the activate, the when and what cards move, the like you can reveal some and not reveal some when you use her. That like sometimes you play her on turn 5, sometimes you trigger her before or after Heimdall. There's a lot of stuff that goes into Fun Fay. That means that I don't think she's ever going to be meta or really super relevant. Ready for a new season pass, the worst season pass card of the year by a lot. Like, and spoiler alert, nothing's going to be worse than the season pass card. It's Esme Cuckoo. On reveal, copy a card from your hand into from your deck into your hand. Set its cost to 3 and power to 4. Esme Cuckoo, meet Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative, meet Esme Cuckoo. I hope you two have a wonderful, wonderful life together.
That was my first thought. Like impact wise, she made one of the most annoying and I don't want to say it, but brain dead archetypes more consistent because if you don't have negative on her curve, you play Esma and now they have maybe a 4-3, 4-4, a 3-4 negative there to curve out. Yay, fun. But she made impact because she made negative more consistent, but she isn't an archetype for her own. Plus Mobius is around, so you can't even play other stuff than like negative because if you play like a greedy deck and stuff and you just ran into Mobius, it was like, yeah, cool. I have now a 6-drop that has 4 power. Fun. So
I'm going to drop her here
This
for discussion purposes. Go ahead.
it's insane how much of a thud this season pass card landed. Yes, I agree. It helped make negative consistent, but I never felt playing her in negative, and I know other people did really well, but it never felt like I was happy with her placement in that deck. It always felt awkward and weird, but I'm used to playing your traditional negative. Outside of that, she did nothing. She was a card and still is a card that is. It still astonishes me that they put out a season pass card so mid. Just as simple as that. It's just meh.
It's going to get reworked eventually, I think. But for the time being, it's a negative card. It can occasionally go somewhere else, but it's largely a negative card. It is great negative. Don't listen to Nick. Like you play it on 3 when you don't have negative, or when you do have negative and you don't have a ramp card, and then sometimes if you do have negative and you have magic, you like play it on 5 to get your magic or chain, and sometimes it hits like an Iron Man or something, and you're just happy. It's amazing in negative. It's genuinely great in negative, and because negative is great, I think it's probably right around Starbrand, a little better or worse than Starbrand, right around that Starbrand Laufey range. It's one archetype, but I mean, like, okay, but probably below Starbrand, right? Because like Starbrand has a million decks and she just has negative, which means it would be above Conchu because it's straight up better than fucking Conchu. Negative is better than Conchu. It helped negative be better than Conchu. That's a relevant thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll acquiesce to that.
Okay. From there, we got to go all the way. This is getting unwieldy. Surge. Fuck. So, okay, here's the problem with Surge. I'm going to get this out of the way at the start. Surge is great, right? We all agree Surge is great.
Yep.
Surge might have been the best card in the game last month. Wait, where the fuck is Merlin? Oh, is Surge and Merlin different months? I have them so close together in
Yes.
my head.
2 different
Okay.
months. Surge came out at the beginning of May. Merlin was
Yeah, Surge came out with Esme. All right,
Yep.
whatever. So, Surge had 2 months of being one of the best cards, and then Mr. Fantastic came out and was like, "Hold my beer." What the fuck do we do with Surge, who was like amazing for 2 months and then sort of irrelevant? Does that mean it's somewhere around Iron Patriot? Because that's about like where it was, about how long it was good.
I would say she deserves to be higher than Moonstone because
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so she's like between Iron Patriot and Moonstone, and I guess Iron Patriot, like
Yeah.
both have still impact on the game, but I would say like probably Surge has a bit less because she has more downside to herself. But that season just felt like Esme should have been like this week 1 Series 5 card, and Surge should have been a Battle Pass card because of the theme of the whole year. But yeah. She's awesome. She's good. Only downside is like sometimes you draw your tech piece and then you can't play her out if you don't want to tempo your Shang. But except from that, she barely has any downside and she's just solidly good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Surge. I love Surge. I still think this month should have been Surge's month as the season pass card. I think someone flipped a coin and it landed on tails and they picked Cuckoo. And I think that was I know that's probably not the case, but it feels like it should have been, and that Surge should have been
So
the season.
a thing that the engaged player base underrates about season passes is I would guess cards like Symbiote Spider-Man, which aren't very good, sold very well because
Mhm.
they're a more well-known card. Esme
Mhm.
Cuckoo isn't much more well-known than Surge, right? But
Yeah.
she's not okay. Sorry. Esme Cuckoo isn't a popular character, but she's
Mhm.
much more well-known than Surge. Like I can't tell you a single thing Surge has ever done in the comics, but I know an awful lot of shit the Cuckoos have done.
Then they should have just changed the text of both cards.
That's fine. They could have just flipped the text. That is an
Yep.
acceptable thing.
Yep.
Although Surge being surging, like they do try and match that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
like
think
Esme Cuckoo is
Surge
meant
is
to be sorry, Esme Cuckoo is meant to sort of mirror White Queen for your own deck.
yeah. And I mean, like I said, in negative, she's good, but that's really about it. Surge has a lot more flexibility as far as where she goes. I do see the problem with, when you pull your Shang-Chi or something that you want to hold on to, that sucks when you've got a Surge card that you just can't play.
Mhm.
Or in the decks where she was in Makari, when she would hit Makari, and if you couldn't play her, that sucked. But I still think that she's an incredibly strong card. I think she's going to find her place more than I see. This is the thing. Like, as far as output goes, she doesn't match up to even Moonstone. I think she's still really strong,
No,
and
she's a
there is
better
a
card.
level.
Output doesn't matter. She's a better card than
Yeah.
Moonstone.
Um,
Like she's a tier higher than Moonstone as far as
yeah.
cards go. Like with relative ease. Like
Uh,
Surge had a real claim to being the best card in Marvel Snap for like a
mhm.
while. Right? Like it's just that's a real thing. It's just that while was dethroned relatively quickly.
But I think
Again,
she still sees a
she's
lot more play too.
yeah, she's indexed because you don't always draw Mr. Fantastic.
Mhm.
Right? Like she's still a great backup plan. But like the problem with that is that very often, if you don't draw Mr. Fantastic, you don't especially um you like sorry, if you do draw Mr. Fantastic, you never actually want to play Surge. You don't really want to play her on turn 3. So here we are.
She will
Right,
be
enough
better
of
when
Surge.
Fantastic get nerfs.
Yeah, well, some Fantastic will be nerfed to a 2-1 that gives +1 real soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Prodigy is going to be really hard to rank, right? Because Prodigy was sort of nothing and now is very much something. Oh, also, let me actually get this out of the way. People worrying about the Invisible Woman thing being a mistake, it's not based on the wording. Like the exact wording of Invisible Woman, which we'll get to later, means that when you copy her, it should happen twice again. And it makes sense that
Mhm.
it goes from 4 to 6, not 4 to 8 that way. It's not exponential. It is literally just every trigger of her is 2 triggers of end of reveal cards.
Mm.
We'll get again, we will talk about that later, but the Prodigy thing should not be a mistake. So where the do we put Prodigy, who is exceedingly important right now, but
Mhm.
not exceedingly important overall?
He showed he's good in this, but I don't know, like those 5 days of Prodigy is now enough to put him somewhere on like the list. Like he could be like just not on the list, but with what we have seen from him, he doesn't deserve to be higher than Redwing, for example. He doesn't deserve to be higher than
Yeah.
Starbrand. And I would probably put him down there. Like in like 2 weeks, you could argue like, okay, Prodigy should be like probably up there Moonstone level. But from 5 days of Invisible Woman, I would not put him up on anywhere. He had no impact or value for this meta game at all.
I
But
think he's had a lot of the past potential. He was in a discard deck with Mobius, and holy smokes, he could really, really do some stuff there with Doc and with the whole 9 yards. I think he's just been underutilized more than being lower on the list. See, I would put him above Redwing, even though I know that's probably wrong, but I think there's probably the hopeful potential of what he can continue to provide. Obviously the Invisible Woman thing is huge, but copying a lot of the cards that we've already talked about is massive. If you can copy a freaking Sunspot with him and get a double trigger, like you don't have to have a ton of energy on that very last turn. If you're getting multiple sunspots, one that's starting with a 4 power, that can be crazy. Same with Thena. Like I was messing around with him in that deck, and um he's really strong. Like
The question is just,
I don't know.
is he lifting the archetype up, or is he just a good addition for the archetype? Because
for
he
Invisible Woman,
lives,
it's a lift,
yeah,
right? I mean, so I'm fine keeping him lower because it's been a week, and that interaction could get nerfed even though it shouldn't exist, right? Like it definitely does, and it should based on the wording. So like somewhere probably below Esme, like right below Esme, above Khonshu. Like negative
I think
was
you should.
meta, so it lifts an
Yeah.
archetype that wasn't meta to meta. Khonshu lifted an archetype that wasn't meta to almost meta.
Mm.
And if this stays meta for more than 5 days, it shoots up the list.
yeah.
So all right, here, ready? How is this
Okay.
so much how is this so much different than Goliath for ongoing Thanos? Like the key cards are like not the Goliath, right? The key cards are the Sam and the Thanos. The key card for
Mm.
the Invisible Woman deck is the Invisible Woman. Prodigy lets you do broken shit, right? Goliath might give you this big power spike, but they're not like they're good, but they're not the deck itself. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think him doubling a double, like I know it's not exponential, but the output that he can cause in, even if you're running him in the Dokken deck with adding another shard or adding another trigger with Bullseye, even Mobius or Morbius, sorry. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, he
but
feels
that deck
more.
was better without him. Sure, it feels nice. That deck was better without him though. Like I'm not
Mm,
counting the deck that's better if it doesn't run him. That's like the opposite. You know what I mean? Like he was tried in that deck. He was fine, but
yeah.
like the deck, it was worse than just running like a Moon Girl, and Moon Girl was worse than just running a Grandmaster. Bless you. I don't know. Like he feels very very similar to just like a good consistency piece for the deck, or a good like go over the top piece, right? Like if Esme hits your Mr. Negative, you feel like a fucking god. If Prodigy
Mm,
copies your Invisible Woman, you feel like a god. But like you also win plenty of those games without that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
Brady.
you probably don't win your SME games if you don't get the negative, but you probably win your Invis games if you don't get the Prodigy Invis.
Yes, yes. All right.
Yeah.
So right around estimate is fine. Let's keep it moving because we're almost done. Elixir, good, not
Mhm.
great. Somewhere low tier, not very impactful because no one bought them but me.
Yeah.
Where are we putting Elixir? Something like, I don't know, below Khonshu, below Ares, below Gorgon, and above Kahori or below Kahori?
Above.
Okay, above Kahori, below Uncle Ben. Does that sound right? Do we want to talk about Elixir? Is there anything to say about Elixir? Good card in some Phoenix Force and Nimrod shells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot to say. Like about fire, you could
No.
say a lot of things, but Elixir is just like good.
Yep. I'm same. Like I think this one's hurt a lot by the last turn effect. I think it could have a huge potential in like a Kid Omega deck if it didn't have to have the last turn text on there, and then probably be broken as hell. But yeah, Elixir just kind of made a teeny splash and just never found its way in decks. Like it's not a card that you're going to pick over pretty much any other card.
Banyev, I don't
Yeah.
even think that the last thing would have made him broken because the last turn thing makes him more consistent.
Look, I think he's good. Again, like we're gonna have 3 Phoenix Forces in a couple of weeks, and that's gonna be good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Zorn 2/3 after any 3 or 4 score card here is played here, move it to another location. I mean, more impactful than Elixir, but by how much?
I would say put him to Elixir a little bit above him, but that's it.
Yeah, right. Like right above Elixir seems right to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like not worse than Uncle Ben. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. The interesting control piece. I think it provides a weird way of being able to control the board, but I don't know if it's. I mean, it was fun when you played a Redwing down and you got your big card in that lane. He's another enabler for
Yeah, there's
Redwing,
just
but
18 ways to do that.
yeah,
Like he was never the important way to do
no.
it. And like that it can throw anywhere is always a little bit annoying. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fine card. Like that month was just kind of a whiff.
It was. It was
Like it's
quantity over
surge and
quality
then
by a large margin.
yeah, surge and then things you don't really want to play. But
Well,
things
it's
you do
crazy
want to
because we
play.
actually didn't get a huge month. That was April. Like the end of April, we got all the cards, and then May it was back to 2, 1, 1, and
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, no, because they released the cards the month before. When they released
right,
snapbacks, they released all the
yeah,
cards
right,
that they
right,
were going to
right,
release at the start of the
right.
season with it. All right. From there, we are on to Merlin. Merlin at the start of each turn, add a Wizardly Incantation to your hand. And I have my original text here where they changed Polymorph being +1 cost, not +2. Thank God they didn't release Polymorph as giving +2 cost to
Mm.
something. That would have been insane. Merlin's probably middle of the top tier, right?
I would put him under Strange Supreme.
I think he's less impactful than Agamotto. He's a better card, but he
Mm.
had less impact on the game.
You think so?
Did he,
He's
or
the-
does it just seem like that? Like I don't know. I saw a lot more Merlin than I saw Agamotto, and I
In
mean he
Agamotto season, are you
counters.
sure? In Agamotto season, are you sure about that? In Agamotto season, everything was Agamotto.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily good.
Yes, it was. It was absolutely good.
But isn't Merlin like the reason we play Sentry and Nihilus with Wolf now?
Yeah.
Like, isn't Merlin
That's
like the
fair.
big thing because of that?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need a Cersei when you can polymorph the card that you can't toss over. Like it's, and again, it's the information disparity. He provides that level of information disparity even more so than I think Agamotto.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, not only deck wise, but card wise, he's the reason nobody wants to play Magic. He just says like,
Mhm.
yeah, we don't play Magic till I'm
That's true.
part of the meta, and he says like, you want to
Really
play
good against
Clog?
Clog.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to play Clog? I have the Dark Type. I haven't seen Clog in like a while, except of the Sentry package, because like,
It's
yeah, why
it's
should
actually
you?
back this week. Yeah. It's totally back this week. All right.
So
Let us
so he
move on. Yeah,
he had
I'm
his
fine.
value.
You convinced me. Above Agamotto, behind stupid Strange Supreme, who I hate. Morgan Le Fay, who's about to be awesome. That 3 that goes to get a 4 is the Morgan card, right? It's okay. Like you play Killmonger and you blow up some shit, and then you blow up that 3 with like a Venom or Carnage, whatever, and then you immediately get Morgan and all those cards back.
Mm.
That's going to be fucking wildly strong. However, that doesn't exist yet, so Morgan's like at the very bottom of this list, right?
Yeah,
Who was it that was
put him.
was working so hard to make a Morgan deck?
Zen.
Yes, right. That's what it was. Of course.
Zen.
How did I forget?
So like it's down here above Isan, below
Mm.
Fanfei. Because at least Fun Fey deck was good.
Yeah, Morgan is fun when you can get her to work, but it's a lot
Again,
of juice or a lot
her
of squeeze
consistency
for
piece
not a lot of
comes.
juice.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
consistency piece comes in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Toxie?
I wanted to try out, and there were like fun stuff, like Bullseye, discard the 1-drops, and then play Morgan. It was like something, but it's just like not impactful enough.
Hope.
She got played because another card came out this or next season with Dormammu.
Yeah.
But without that, she would have been probably even less played.
So are we okay with her being above Isan, or should she be like where does she rank? We have Fanfei and Isan next to each other. I have her splitting those two right now. Is she more impactful than Fanfei? I think Fanfei at
I
least
think
had
so.
one semi-meta. Fanfei had one semi-meta deck. Morgan didn't.
I don't know. I think Morgan had more people trying out stuff than Fanfei.
Sure, but Fanfei's thing was good.
But if we're talking about impact, I think Fanfei's impact was much smaller, and I don't think either were big, but I think you'll still see, and then you can see that future potential. I know we're not looking at the future, so if we're just looking at present, I still think there were some more attempts to make Morgan work, and then it just disappeared. Whereas Fanfei, I don't even think had an established, really widespread. Like nobody was talking about great Fanfei decks to the level that they would have for the Morgan decks.
Fanfei was in a move list that was in either tier 1 or tier 2 for like 5 straight weeks.
Yeah, tier 1 or tier 2 for like a handful of people that could actually play it. Whereas Morgan, I think, had a little bit more flexibility.
I don't think as many people got Morgan as you think at all. I've seen Morgan played against me at most 3 times ever.
Yeah, but you're in a weird meta that I don't think is equivalent to most normal people too. Let's see. Let's look at Morgan's stats.
Being played and losing games, I think it's an impact. Like this isn't Infinity Ultron where everyone was trying the fucking card.
Yeah. I mean,
this
looking
is a card
at
that was
Untapped, for example, we're at a 0.8% popularity for Morgan and a 0.4% for Fanfei. And technically,
so neither
Fanfei
one has
is
any popularity.
No.
Sure, great. Neither one. 0.8 and 0.4. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm not okay. You lose this round. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like that's not a yeah. Like 0.8 and 0.4 is like it's not like one is 3% and one is 0.8. Like that fine. Yeah, it's double, but it's still below 1%. Leave me alone.
Yes, fair.
I told you no one fucking played Morgan.
And I'll be honest, the cube ratio for Morgan decks is far lower than
because Fanfei is in good decks.
Yeah.
All right. Toxie, what the fuck do we do with Nicholas Scratch? Is it down here with Morgan? Is it better than Morgan because people cope and put it into decks sometimes?
I would even put him down as behind Morgan.
Is it below Isan? Probably then, right?
Yeah, but Isan was like cooked with. Nicholas is just like, yeah, whatever.
Okay, let's keep going down then. Is it below it's gotta be below Joaquin Torres then, right?
Yeah.
It's above Toxie though. It's still better than Toxie.
Yeah. I think Toxie will stay the lowest of the lows.
Yeah.
Hellion. 5/8 on reveal next turn. You can move cards to this location. Hellion's great and just didn't make the splash he should have. He's still in my Scream deck that I keep winning with, though. Low impact, though, right?
Yep, very low impact. I think a very solid card. Sorry, go ahead, Toxie.
Yeah, somewhere under the Starbrand Ares things. Like he is good in like the Heimdall versions or the Scream versions, but he's under those.
I mean, he's right around Topaz, a little below Topaz, above Gorgon. Now he's got to be below Gorgon, right? Below Gorgon, above Ben. That works. Below Gorgon, above Ben.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Go Cock Boom. Thank you for the prime. Great name. Yeah, I don't know. Ben's probably above Hellion, right? Ben's version got more play for longer than Hellion's version. And then, like, Hellion's a fucking way better card than Ben. But, like, Hellion's better than a ton of cards above it.
Yeah, but Ben doesn't. Hellion doesn't make funny sounds like Ben does when he dies.
The animation.
Yeah.
The animation. All right.
I think the decks that Hellion is in are better as a whole, but again, they're harder decks to pilot. Oh, this card. Everybody's
Mercury,
favorite
2/2.
card.
You can move this one, so I'm going to get enemy cards here. Can't move. How high are we putting Mercury? Like, I think it's probably in tier 1 somewhere around Surge. It's better than Moonstone, right? As far as
Yeah.
impact.
Holy smokes, yeah.
Which was again the card behind Strange?
Behind Strange is Merlin.
Yeah. The I
It's
feel
so
like
it
it's
hasn't
a
been as
battle.
impactful as Merlin.
Yeah, I think it's a battle between these two. She's less impactful, so I would say she's behind Merlin, but she has
She's
her.
less impactful than Agamotto as like
Mm.
You
like
think so?
impact, not like quality. I think she's better than Agamotto. I don't think she's as impactful for as Victoria Hand, Agamotto, or Iron Patriot. I can see her above Surge. That's just sheer impact.
I feel like
So
she's like
where do you
impactful.
put?
Her
Go ahead,
impact is
Toxic.
like she's
So
almost in like every tech dump or like good card deck.
that's
Like
true, but
she's
like that's the only deck she's in. She's in an awful lot of those, right? Like Iron Patriot was in every one of those forever. Victoria Hand created an archetype. Agamotto added a card type to the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that speaks to the impact that Mercury had, considering she's a 2/2 that all she could do is prevent enemy cards from moving, but her synergy with, blocking Sam Wilson decks, being a murder partner with Cannonball, the fact that she ended up, because of her synergies, getting other cards banned from the limited time game modes, I think that speaks to her impact as a whole. I think any card that gets banned may not be the best card, but if we're looking at overall impact, I don't know. I think she's had a
I mean,
huge impact.
yeah, Kang
my
would be at the top of this list. Any card that gets banned needs to be near the top of these lists.
my point is just like why she's like close to Merlin. We remember what Prof X Cannonball did, and she's like the same
Mm.
thing. She's just like the smaller
But
Prof
I
X
mean,
at this point.
sure, she's
So
not though, right? Like she's not. That's no fucking. That's
mm,
nonsense. Yes, they both lead to Cannonball destroying. Prefix Cannonball's power wasn't just that you could auto kill something. It's that you also auto won the Professor X lane. Like she's not Profex Cannonball. She's
I
great, but she's not Profex.
I,
Like you
I
think
get
she's more important than
flashbacks.
adding skills to Marvel Snap
Uh,
or adding an entire archetype to the game that might be the best archetype in the game or whatever the fuck Iron Patriot was for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
from
No, I
that point,
think I think where you've got her. Yeah.
can't we make the argument though that she's at least above Iron Patriot? Because
You can. I think it's recency bias.
then I would
Were
probably
you
say then
did you
it's
forgetting how often you could snap on Iron Patriot? Games of Marvel Snap were over on turn 4, like 40 to 50% of the time. When else has that ever happened? Negative.
Loki.
Sure. Like that's what Iron Patriot's impact was, negative Loki. Like you would play Iron Patriot, you would win the location, you would snap, and people would just have to respect it and run.
okay. Then let's go under Patriot above Surge. I agree. We can go with that.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Her ability to move as well, I think, is something that
That needs to go away.
worth-
They just need
yeah.
to take that off. That needs to go away. She should be like fine. She can keep the other ability. She can't move. Jennifer Kale is somewhere fucking very near the bottom, right?
Put her to Nicholas Scratch. They can go
She's
Yeah.
better than
somewhere.
Nicholas Scratch.
She is.
But what is her impact?
I mean, yeah, she's better than Nicholas Scratch. That's all I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying she's better than anything else. She's just better than Nicholas Scratch. I like her.
Yeah, she-
Decent card.
Yeah.
can-
She
That's
does
fair,
what she
Brady, because you're
does
playing
well.
Agatha.
The
I
only-
went down too far.
I mean, okay, the only impact she had is she made Galactus good. That the Galactus
Mhm.
Wrathhound deck. That's okay, that's impactful. We can go with that. But then she's
Okay.
like under Diamondback-ish somewhere there.
I'm not having a conversation about her 2 hours into a podcast. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
All right. Ancient One, who is buffed to have the Dow Mandala be a 2, is a 3/5 that adds a Dow Mandala to your hand. Dow Mandala copies all your ongoing cards. Ancient One, I think, is reasonably impactful. Not like high, but somewhere, I don't know. Somewhere, Jesus, this list has
Undersnapper.
gotten long. Some lower, I think. Above Topaz, probably right around Diamondback.
But she made like a big impact with C5. Like I
Mm.
haven't seen C5.
I mean,
except-
big impact. Okay. Big. Big. Are you sure big is the right word? She
What I
made
will
an
say,
impact. I have an impact with C5.
Ancient One's popularity is at almost 2%, which is double Jennifer Kale, which is
Yeah, we're not even close to
whatever.
Jennifer Kale.
Like, yeah.
We're not even close to Jennifer Kale. We're chilling somewhere around Aries, Khonshu, Diamondback. I'll put
I
her
would say
above
above.
Diamondback.
I don't know if she
On
deserves
Aries.
to go above Diamondback just because I don't know if it was enough. Versus Diamondback is still in an exceptional deck. Like you put Diamondback in a
I don't think their
Affliction
Diamondback is in
deck.
an exceptional deck. I don't think Affliction is an exceptional deck, like remotely.
I would have done the argument above Aries because she was good in the Victoria hand list and in C5, which is
Yeah,
like two
but
impactful
Aries
decks.
was in a the Aries deck is better than either Victoria, like the Ancient One Victoria hand or the C5 though. The
Was
Aries
not
deck was
that
like
long
the
ago.
most popular deck in the game. Yes, he was. You're completely forgetting exactly how Surtur had to get nerfed like 7
Yeah.
times.
But was it because of Surtur or because of Aries? We talk like card-wise, not archetype-wise.
I think Aries was more important to the archetype than Ancient One is, because I don't think you need Ancient One for anything but C5. Like if you're running a fucking Victoria hand deck and you just have Frigga and Moonstone, what do you need Ancient One for?
Yeah.
Like,
Ancient
yeah,
One
she's
is too
good,
many
but
steps.
like she's fine. If she had if that thing was a body that did her thing, I'd be happy.
Okay, I go with the haters. Let's go. Put her down.
Okay. All right, good enough. Like, and also we're fighting about her and Aries. Who fucking cares, right? Like we're at the bottom third of the list at that point.
True.
We've been doing this for 17 hours. So, and eventually the White Wing Brady has to go to sleep. Okay. Nightmare has to be high impact, right? The 3-1 that replaces the text of cards in your hand with that of other stuff. That was a very impactful card, even if it sucked.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it wasn't that impactful. Something like below Goliath. Oh, below Infinity Ultron. Maybe lower than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a card that's hard to put above Firehair, right? Like it's chilling down here with below Prodigy. Is that crazy? Below Prodigy above Khonshu?
No, I very much think that's where he fits. I think he had potential, but I think his randomness, unpredictability, the fact that you need to have him and play him with cards that you want to change in your hand and that they turn like there's just so much.
He's -1. I mean, that's a lot of words to say. He's a 3-1. Toxie, you okay with Nightmare down here?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Chilling with above Khonshu because they're both bad, but Nightmare was really, really hyped.
The thing about him is he would have had more impact if he would have like a gauntlet or tournament because he's like a perfect tournament card. With him only having like ladder and conquest, he wasn't like good enough.
I don't think he's going to be as good in tournaments as we think.
He's a good snap condition.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out in a week.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find out in a week. Let's find out in a week. We'll come back to that. Let's revisit that conversation in a week because we do have a tournament in a week. Kid Omega. Shit.
Oh God.
So impact.
I would say
for Kid Omega.
Impact
number
impact
2. Number 2 or number 1?
I would say number 1. Kid Omega 1 should be the number 1. I never saw that much hate and feelings towards his game.
Yeah,
like his impact was amazing.
His release lost me like 400 subscribers. Like no joke.
Yeah,
like the Kid Omega thing happened, and yeah, that's impact. Like, yeah, the game still has not recovered from Kid Omega. The worst decision they've ever made, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think we have to discuss further. His card impact is fine, right? Like he's a good card. He makes an archetype exist, but like his impact on the game is almost unmatched.
Yeah.
Cobra. Cobra. So is Cobra better than Toxie? Yes, right?
Like, I just can't get over that they were like, let's put this card out with this art. Like, I just
wait. Okay.
So dumb. I know he's a dumb character, but it's just especially dumb. It's one of those cards that's in my collection that I look at and go, oh, Jesus Christ, this thing's ugly.
All right. However, where does Cobra go? Oop, I just haven't been slipping along, have I? Haha, I should be here. That's what I did wrong. Cobra should be chilling somewhere around Toxidoxy. Is it better than Toxidoxy? I vote yes.
Yes. It actually does something.
Impact than Toxidoxy.
That's what I want to say. Impact-wise, Toxic had more impact than Cobra,
right?
probably.
I agree. No one played Cobra because no one could get Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra is
And
the
when
least
everybody,
impactful card released this year.
Ugh.
yeah.
I don't see. I think there were a few
All
people
right.
that were playing Cobra with the stupid "Not My
No.
Dad's"
Go
Viper,
check your
and
play rate. You're wrong. Go check your
fine.
play
All
rate. It was
right,
completely
I'm
fucking
going to look.
unplayed. All right. Dormammu. Dormammu, reasonably
Uh,
high for impact, but not like very high. Somewhere wherever Infinity Ultron is, Dormammu goes, right?
you think so? He was the reason I saw Destroy on that again after like 6 months of abstinence. He
That
made
you saw what
player.
again?
I didn't saw Destroy for like 6 months on ladder. Now there's a reason I see
Sure, sure,
Destroy
sure.
again.
If
That's
great.
impact.
How often and you see a ton of Infinity Ultron too. I'm not putting him above Goliath, who made
Hmm.
who in ongoing Thanos was a real deck. Like I think you're underrating how impactful Infinity Ultron was. And people played the shit out of Infinity
Mm.
Ultron.
But
I think
Dormammu
Dormammu's a
had.
better card than Infinity Ultron. I think Dormammu's a better card than Infinity Ultron, but I think Infinity Ultron had more impact on the game.
What I will say is the day Dormammu released, and for the next couple of days, that was, I think, a massively dominant game.
Mhm.
Like, so many people were playing Dormammu, and it fell off. Like, it almost felt like when High Evo released, everybody was playing Dormammu. It's like, okay, what flavor of Dormammu is my opponent playing? Can I go over top of that? But that fizzled out super, super quickly, and it just kind of dissipated when people couldn't get the. He just didn't fit the power that he was promised to fit.
We'll see if he does now, but as of now,
Yeah.
I think like Infinity Ultron had a bigger impact because if people kept going with Infinity Ultron and Dormammu just
Yep.
disappeared.
I think because you mess up on a skill, you misplay a skill and it fizzles, then you're done. Like you no longer can get Dormammu. There is no getting
Mhm,
him out unless you
mhm.
have ramp, and then you don't want to. Why are you going to play him? You never want to play
All
him.
right,
So yeah,
two
yeah.
hour, two
I
hours
need to
in,
go.
too much. Clea,
Yes, sorry.
Clea's Flames of Faltine is actually got to be somewhere, right? Like,
she
I
had
mean,
good
not this
impact.
high, but like, yeah, decent
With,
impact, right? Like
people
for
tried
a
having end
1/2
stuff
that
with Marvel Boy and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, did you forget a card, by the way?
What
There's
card?
a certain skill card that's technically a card.
Oh, Astral. Yeah, Astral.
Yeah,
Fine. Astral is right where Jennifer Kale is. All good.
sure.
All good.
Okay.
All
Yep.
right. Clea is probably below Gorgon and Uncle Ben though. Though no,
Yeah,
above Hellion. Doxy.
I think so.
I would say above Hellion because again it's just the archetype of the game. Move is hard.
Yeah.
People don't play move, but Claire got tried out and stuff.
Yeah. Fine. Good. Decent little card. Decent little card. All right, Mister Fantastic First Steps.
Yeah.
Impact. I mean, at least above Surge because it knocked Surge out of the
Mhm.
game, right?
Yeah.
Not above Mercury. Nice and easy.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
No, he only had
I
one
mean, it's
monster
better than
version.
Mercury. It's better than a lot of these cards. Yeah.
I mean, his impact
Yeah.
is big because he's the reason they buffed Morbius.
Yeah. Look, everything in this area has a huge crazy impact, right? Like
Yeah.
like the cards we're talking about in the top tier, Surge, who's like my borderline one because she's great, but only had 2 months before there. Then Mr. Fantastic First Steps, Mercury is above Mr. Fantastic First Steps. I could see that going either way. I don't really care. Iron Patriot, who fine, right? Like maybe like those three are like can go in any order. Then Victoria Hand, who creates an archetype and is probably the best deck in the game right now. Agamotto, who adds an entire type of card to the game and was insanely played and won Golden Gauntlet too. Well, was in the Golden Gauntlet too. He didn't win. And then we got Merlin, who adds several decks to the game, takes out several archetypes from the game. Strange Supreme because Thanos, Bullseye because 8,000 decks and came out in January, so it's had the time for the impact. And then Sam Wilson and Kid Omega. Like, which of those is not an outsized crazy impact?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantasticar has to be high, right?
Yeah, I
Impact.
think
Impact.
reasonably.
Nick, order.
So I just know you're trying to get this done, so I'm trying to
Yeah, you still
expedite.
got to let Toxie talk too, bud. All
Fine.
right, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, to me? Okay.
Toxie, go. Yeah.
Fantastic Car impact wise big because he hadn't had a shitstorm like Kid Omega, but he was up there with the premium pass. So if you don't look at archetype, okay, archetype wise he was good too, but from that perspective, we could argue that his impact was bigger than Moonstone because people hated on this. People started to
Oh, it's definitely
stop
above
buying.
Moonstone. Definitely above
Yeah,
Moonstone.
can we argue
Above
about
Surge,
Surge?
probably.
Yeah, I would say
Above
like put it
Surge.
above Surge.
Is it above below Fantastic? Is it actually below Fantastic? Yeah, I guess so. Fantastic's in every
Yeah.
fucking deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good enough. Nick?
Yep. I'm agreed.
Okay. Herbie, really, really, really low impact. Yes. Good
I mean,
card, fun card. It has the
how
misfortune
high?
of being costing 2.
How high do you want to impact him that he got a Grand Arena champion out of him? Is this like impactful?
Eh, is it that his impact? I mean, he was the best Grand Arena. I can see that helping.
And that, yeah. So
Okay,
I
that bumps
guess,
him up.
Yeah. Well, especially now with the fact that you can't run Sarah, but you can get an extra 2 energy next turn out of this guy. I think that's a huge impact in arena.
Chilling with Dormammu and Infinity Ultron seem fair?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, below them, but fine. He was going to be significantly lower, so yay, dev decisions. All right, what's our next card? Torch. Fine. Goes in Surfer. Low impact. Sure does exist.
No.
Where impact wise? Around Ancient One? Below Ares?
Yeah. He
It's
needs to
hard
prove
to,
himself more.
with the recency
Ancient
bias,
One
it's
made a
hard.
deck.
Yeah.
So below Ancient One?
Yeah.
He's
Is he
also
just a
not
good
like
stuff
he's
card in a lot of ways?
no, he's Surfer. Like Surfer exclusive. Like even the end of turn decks don't really want him because he's only getting +1.
And for good stuff, you usually
Like he'll
cannot
double
fill up
and
his
then get
lane.
+3. Oh, sorry, what?
For good stuff, it's hard to fill up his lane. You usually
Yeah.
spread a bit more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's you know who's better than him as far as impact goes? Thing.
Yeah.
I also think
Yeah.
Thing is just a better card. Just
Mhm.
like Thing plays for like a 6/15. Sorry, a
Mhm.
5/15. Like not a lot better, but better. Thing somewhere around. I
Close to
mean, probably
Ares?
just one above him. It's not again. Ancient One makes a deck, so like we have Ares, Ancient One, Thing, Human Torch right now. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chat says the first step season has to be a great season for Snap. I think it's a great season for cards, but it's not a great
Yes.
season for sentiment around the game.
Mm.
I think great cards, bad sentiment, and just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Mole Man, no impact, but I really love Mole Man. Where does Mole Man go?
He wasn't a Grand Arena champion. Put him under Herbie.
No, like he's not a good
Oh.
Grand Arena champion. Like Herbie counts because he's like the best Grand Arena champion, and it's not close. There's no way Mole Man goes above like. Is he above Fanfei? Probably not. Is he above Morgan? Probably not.
I would say
Is he
he's
above
about
Isan?
He is about Fanfei. He gets way
In
more play.
impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets way
Is
more
he above
play.
Ross?
Yes.
Is he above Kahori?
Yes.
Is he above Elixir?
No.
Okay, great. Good enough for me. I don't have any real interest in. I love Mole Man. Just don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not and I think those decks are good. I just think Invisible Woman coming out a week later said we don't care. Oh,
Mhm.
we might have a new worst card. It's the Mad Thinker. Is the Mad Thinker the worst card this year? Gotta be, right? Do you know how many times I've seen the Mad Thinker?
0?
Yeah, exactly 0.
Yeah.
I also haven't bothered to get it.
No.
That's well, you should quit Snap, sir. Like Mad Thinker is worse than Cobra. Less impact than Cobra. I'm calling it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mole Man's better than you think, Killjoy. All right. Da-da-da-da-da. Where are we? We're going all the way back down. What's the card after after Mad Thinker? Oh, we're done. This is our last card. Invisible Woman at First Steps. It's really hard to rank her right now.
Mm-hmm. So recent and
impact wise, I would probably put her like to Redwing because she's her own archetype now. End of
No.
turn.
No.
She made end
Her
of
archetype's
turn
better
there.
than Redwing's. Yes,
Yeah,
but her archetype
she's around
matters.
Redwing.
No way. I think she's above Moonstone.
I didn't want to
Her
go that
archetype is
high
the archetype.
because it's 4 days now.
Yeah, recency. But it's the deck in Marvel Snap right now. How many cards get to be in the deck in Marvel Snap?
Yeah, not many.
Like, I'm not going to put her any higher than that, right? Like, not higher than Surge or anything, but because she has created an archetype that immediately became the deck in Marvel Snap, what's the last time that happened? Bullseye? And, like, not just being a good card, that created an archetype that immediately became one of the best archetypes in the game. Maybe Merlin?
Strange.
Yeah, the fact that she has
That's
even
strange.
near enough push as a season pass card says something about her. And considering how good most of the cards are this season, the fact that she is as good as she is, like, yikes.
Yeah. I'm not sure so if I had to, like, gun to my head, try and be as accurate as possible, rank cards in Marvel Snap in tiers, I would have 2 S tier cards right now. It would be Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, and I don't think I would have any others. Maybe Merlin. Maybe Merlin. All right. Is that our list?
I think that's our list.
Ready for me to read 1,000 cards in a row? And you can yell at me if you hear anything wrong. Toxie and Nick, you're just going to have to interrupt because I'm going to try and go relatively quickly. The worst card in terms of impact released in 2025 is Mad Thinker, then Cobra, then Toxidoxy. Cobra's better than Toxidoxy, but impact. Nicholas Scratch, Jennifer Kale, Joaquin Torres Falcon, who released somehow as a 3/4. Isan, who should be below Falcon. Morgan Le Fay, Thon Fay, Thaddeus, Thunderbolt Ross, Kahori, Moleman, Elixir, Zorn, Hellion, who's got kind of ugly art, Clea, Unca Ben, Gorgon. Cool that those two ended up next to each other when they released together. Topaz, Diamondback, Human Torch First Steps, Thing First Steps, better cards than their impact. Ancient One, Ares, Khonshu, Nightmare, Prodigy, who might shoot up the list in a week, give it some time. Esme Cuckoo, Starbrand, Laufey, Herbie, who gets an extra bonus from being the best Grand Arena champion. Dormammu, Infinity Ultron, these are impact, not quality. Goliath, quality, not impact. Redwing, new archetype. Hydra Stomper, brings back archetype. Batrock and Hydra Stomper are fundamentally the same archetype. Firehair, better than the other Cope cards. Captain Carter, Moonstone, the top of that tier is Moonstone. The best of the cards, like really, really good, but not as impactful as you would like. Kicking off the absolute S tier, God tier of impact is Invisible Woman First Steps, who might shoot up in a week, hard to say, or fall off in a week. Surge, best card for 2 months, then taken out. Fantasticar, first super season pass premium card, which gets it up here. Mr. Fantastic First Steps goes in every freaking deck. Mercury, because that good stuff Cannonball is now a thing. Iron Patriot, which dominated the start of the year. Vicky Hand, which created an archetype that remains relevant since January. Hugely impressive. Agamotto introduces a new card type into Marvel Snap. Merlin makes that new card type actually good and brings back several old decks. Strange Supreme, because oh my god, the impact on the metagame. Bullseye, because it had that impact in January early on, and that impact has carried through as it's still in one of the 2 or 3 best decks in the game right now, the Invisible Woman one. Sam Wilson, which is the ultimate of synergy cards, just synergizes with absolutely everything. From there, we're going to Kid Omega. Kid Omega is the most negative impact in the game, but impact is impact. It knocked hundreds, if not thousands, of people off playing Marvel Snap. Trust me, I have the subscriber and view totals to prove that. Ready for our variant of the week? It's Marvel Boy. Toxie, which Marvel Boy did you pick?
I chose the Creative House Pocket one. It's the middle
Why?
one.
Yeah.
I really like. I'm a big anime fan, and Creative House Pocket is like something perfectly taste for my taste. And he looks absolutely stunning. I really like his design wise. I like those little particles that go outside of the card, and for me, it's a perfect card. Plus, he's something rare because it was like a new verse, spent $100 this season card.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Flaviano. This was a month that I knew that I was getting every single spotlight variant. I'm glad that it was still during a time when I could do that. But I love Flaviano's art. I love his style. I think he's got a flair to it. And I think the only miss he had that month was speed, and that was only because he's got a weird arm thing going on. The Marvel Boy, I think, is phenomenal. I think it looks great. I absolutely love it.
Cool. I picked the Krasenka because it's a comic I really like and it looks great. It fits the character best to me. This actually feels like Marvel Boy, where like he's listening to music and meditating and just trying to do Earth stuff. Really, really cool character. Also, if you haven't tried Invisible Woman with Marvel Boy, that extra +3 is great. But if you can double the Invisible Woman, which is what everyone's trying to do right now, those 4 triggers are great. Oh, also, I promised to do that and I didn't. We have to go back to Invisible Woman. I'm going to explain very quickly.
Oh, yes.
This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. So if your end of turn abilities happen twice, 2 times, how many times is that? 4, right?
Yeah.
2 times 2 is 4, yeah.
So there you go. That's why it happens. Because it triggers this turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. They happen twice. Then the next one triggers, your end of turn abilities happen twice. That's 4. Then if you get 3 invisible, and next turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. That's 6. 4 times 8. Get it? See how that works?
Yes.
That's the logic of the card. It works exactly as printed.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's
confused.
been breaking Invisible Woman.
Yeah, well, that.
It is insanely, insanely, insanely strong. All right. We good here? Toxie, this episode is insanely long. Why should people follow you and let you go to sleep?
I like the camera angle. People don't see that on YouTube, but I'm like perfectly the mix of both of you. Nick said like he's always like in Twitch chats and lurking, and that's like perfectly fitting to me because I always like to lurk and support people. Plus, Glazer on the other side, he's doing now more than 800 videos since he started YouTube, and I almost never really skipped like a week or like even like multiple days in a row where I didn't do like any content or any streams. And right now it's like 7 to 12 hours usually. So I try to be as impactful as possible for the community, do my own stuff, try to help out other people as much as possible, and just try to have a great time with all of you guys.
Toxie's amazing. You need to follow him. I'm sneaking in front of you because I know you're going to say your piece and you've got your amazing pieces to say about Toxie, but Toxie's amazing. He's an amazing. Oh, fine. Okay. Then I will speak. Toxie's an absolutely amazing a human being, very supportive. He's right. He's always in everyone's chats. He's always there and cares about this game. I think you are in that handful of people that are just this game speaks to them and you care about it and you care about the community, and it shows in your content, it shows in your streams, it shows in your existence in other people's streams and your willingness to help. So 10 out of 10, you're an amazing human being. If you're not following Toxie, then you're just doing something wrong.
Thank you.
You should follow Toxie because his hair is incredible. If you follow him, if you go check him out on Twitch and ask him to, he will let his hair out. And if you were heterosexual, you are no longer. Go gay. Follow Toxic Soul King. There, that's my take this week. We all good? Also, follow Nick the Greek Geek, who I'll be rating in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Please do check out our Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments, where I do all sorts of exclusive stuff. Literally today, after I record this video, I will be recording a Patreon exclusive video, except first I have to record another video because otherwise the White Wayne Brady can never sleep and will murder me. So expect a Patreon exclusive video if you are on there later today. We do an exclusive video once a week now that I'm back on schedule. So if you feel like supporting, that would be awesome. We're also giving away 1,000 freaking whatchamacallit packs codes there. I think I've given away 8 so far, and I've got 2 more to do relatively soon. Turn to support on our Patreon with honor. Thanks. I'm going to say thank you very quickly to Jonesy Snap 22, our patron of the month, and then we go fast. Happy some mandatory burner, Irregardless, LAB, Ink Iron Frost, Hot Out, Brian, Brian, Burke, Ryan, Bud, Snap, Remnant, Gopher, Kev, Carol, Tor, Caretex, Lee, Corey, Kazushi, Archangel, 2K, Plekton, Purpose, the code, secret code, Hollow, Synth, Bugle, Physical, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brakovich, Haplo, Catalog, the Danger, the Biz, Black Tubes, 23, Extra Scenes, Skibby G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Celeste, the King Rose, the Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsi, Hoda Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Sullivan, David Jewing, Phil Stephen, Mark, Jason B, Mr. Matt V, Horwin, John Q, Jimmy Q, Yes, Stage 1, Big Man, Bilkman, For Reals, Cactus Jack, Reapster, Stevo, Marco, Ted Bro, Quid Pro Joe, Snapchat, Sister Joe, Boom, Bot, Bricks to Click, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, Flan Physics, Spectrum X, Hoot, Only Fox, Maddie, CJ Micro, There's No Flex, Nick the Geeky, Kind Nick, Toxic Soul King, High Toxic Soul King, Subject 74, King of Canada, JJ Demon, Falcon, Fluff, Thorn, Newman, Two Ties, Grip, Whatever, the Parking, Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for today's episode is over, and we went way over time. So, and both of I think Toxie has fallen asleep and Nick has literally run away from his chair. So let's say good night. Peace out, everybody. Peace and love.